Welcome to our 100th episode extravaganza. It's our biggest show yet with a bevy of guests, snacks, cats, and trains. We're bringing back an extra-sized edition of MousePIRE's Magical Memories that'll make you laugh, cry, and say why. The Main Street Electrical Parade is coming to an end soon, so of course that means more themed merchandise and food offerings. We have so many guests here and so little time for all this rambling. Get ready for the mother of all podcast parties. Also, downtown Disney parking changes, Disney leaves Netflix, the Olympics, and more on this centennial episode of the MousePIRE podcast.
Hi, I'm Anthony.
I'm Shadow.
I'm Diggs.
And welcome to MousePIRE, your source for Star Wars, Disney, and everything in between. This is the podcast where both empires collide.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the MousePIRE podcast.
What's going on? Uh-oh.
The apprentice lives.
What is this?
You best start believing in ghost stories, Miss Turner. You're in one.
Think help me hardly show up.
You never had a friend like me.
Some imagination, huh?
Made you look.
Happy birthday!
Hola.
Wait. Birthdays again?
Nope.
Wait. She's on my birthday too.
Hey, who's that guy?
I don't know, but he's sitting next to me and we're sharing mics.
Hola.
Sha-la-la-la-la-la-la-la. Go for it. Sha-la-la-la-la.
Whoa.
I don't know what's happening,
I
but
don't either.
I'm on a donut thing.
It's something special here for our new friend.
Can you hear the drums, Fernando?
That's right. We have Fernando Xavier Hubbard.
I hate that guy. Diet.
You were humming to yourself and softly strumming.
Here comes the good part.
I could hear the distant drums and sounds of bugle calls were coming from.
It's right here. Ready?
They were close now, Fernando. Every hour.
Are you excited?
Minute seemed to last eternally.
If you can play San Fernando Road after, I think.
All right, so I think we need to fade this off because then we're not going to be able to put this show on YouTube because we get blocked.
Uh-oh.
So, yeah.
ask Michael about
Michael,
that.
the mail guy.
So, yeah, Fernando Xavier Hubbard is here.
Finally.
Once again, Tim Chicka Fresh is here.
Ole.
Michael, the mail guy, is unblocked from the podcast.
Oh, yeah, you guys be very, very prepared and dirty for this show. That's all I got to say.
Uh-oh.
I don't know what's going to come out, but it's going to come out one way or
Uh-oh.
another.
That means he's going to talk longer than Tim and I did about Phantasmic.
No, it's not possible. Listen,
I feel
4-hour podcast, right on.
we're live. We're live from the snack land here in Long Beach, California, and Michael could get thrown out at any moment.
I believe it.
All right.
Get out.
Thank you, Tim, and to his lovely girlfriend.
Lady.
Wife.
Lady.
She's all these things.
But
She's
yeah,
a lady.
So yeah, we are on location at Tim's, and there is a lot of snackage here. There's a lot of snackage here. We have nachos and we have strawberries.
Ooh, chili.
There's chili and
Some
there's
queso.
watermelon and blueberries.
Don't
and
forget the salami.
I'm going down the row. We have crackers and cheese and salami and pepperoni, and
Deviled eggs.
there's some muffins over there that I see. And behind me we have
No, they're not the muffins at the table.
behind
Tops.
Jars of sugar.
Yes, there's jars of sugar
And
behind it.
but you know what we don't have? Kosher water.
We don't have kosher water,
Oh,
but hey,
man.
you know what? Fernando brought donuts.
Woo! Good looking
So
out.
we're gonna have a big podcast party here. We're gonna get fat with all these munchies. I have a lot of strawberries that I need to
We're
finish.
kind of half and half. We have
I would venture-
good food and bad food. So wherever you want, mix them in because you had your dinner.
Right. I would venture to say that this is a podcast party Other than the fact that had good air conditioning in both in your guys' hotel rooms, this is a podcast party that surpasses any of your hotel room podcast parties.
And this is the best snackage we've ever had.
Yeah, because nobody shows up to our parties over there.
True.
So, hey, we are here, and we are also celebrating our 100th show.
Yeah, and just in case we weren't burying the lead or anything about that, yes, this is episode number 100.
Ooh, yeah.
we couldn't afford effects. Sorry, guys.
So, yes, we are recording episode 100, and we have all this snackage that we're going to get to and finish, and we have a lot of stuff to talk about, a lot of topics. And also coming up is another installment of MousePIRE's Magical Memories. And we're going to have a lot of memories here because there's a lot of people here. So
it's a supersized show.
Yes, exactly. And coming with...
Yeah, if you think 2 weeks ago was bad or 3 weeks ago was bad, woo-wee. No, I'm just kidding.
All right, so we're going to kick it off real quick talking about the return of the Disneyland Railroad. The trains are back in town. And the opening of Rivers of America with the canoes and the Mark Twain.
And you know what? I just want to say that we will be having somebody joining us a little bit later, so we might have to check in with them about the rivers, because I know for a fact that he rode on the canoes.
Yes, I heard that. Him and his kids went on the canoes, and we'll talk about that too. And of course, the return of the Columbia and all that stuff going on over at Disneyland. So, yes, the trains came back, actually had a soft opening on the Friday.
1 day early.
Yes, we were there.
They've been doing that a lot lately for things, though, right? Giving you that one.
That's always a given on anything. It's always that 1 day.
Sometimes
soft.
not.
Oh,
well, if anything,
unless they're charging for a party.
Right,
well,
exactly.
Yeah.
If anything,
that's true.
If anything, lately, them not doing a soft opening, that's more of a surprise than them actually doing it. Yeah, Guardians is a good example of them not doing soft openings when we were hoping them to do it.
So, yes, Anthony and I were there. We went on the train. We took a 1.5 loop because they made us get off at Toontown, but we'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah, we got kicked off for celebrities.
So, anyway, let's just start with the trains. How many has been on the train? Fernando?
Has everybody here been on the train?
No.
Do we hear your voice, Fernando?
So just three
not
of
yet,
us?
not yet.
You haven't been on the train either?
Yeah.
Well, then why aren't you raising your hand?
Speak up, Shadow.
It's 4.5. 4.5.
Uh-oh, someone's arriving. We've got a visitor.
Oh.
There we go. Speaking of
The other fat guy.
the canoe guy.
Look who it is.
All right.
Lean in somewhere and tell us who's here.
All right. He's making his rounds around the table, saying hi.
He's not fitting around the table.
It's Dan the Man.
Dan the Man is in the house.
Was anybody really surprised?
Yeah, right.
So, yeah, Dan the Man's here. He's joining us on this 100th episode.
Have some snacks, Dan.
We
There's
have
so
tons
many.
of snacks.
Sounds good, man. Thank you.
All right, so we were
Trying the
talking...
donuts.
Oh,
We
donuts.
got donuts, we got nachos, and a lot of stuff going on over here. Look, we have jars of sugar.
Yeah,
you look like you can use some sugar
Jars
right
of sugar. Yeah, today sucked. Today I was on daddy duty, Michael.
Oh,
Daddy duty kicked in today.
yeah, I got one bad diaper earlier this morning. So
But I didn't realize the kids started
you do
school
your
tomorrow,
duty?
so I had to get it like all the little backpack and the little school supplies ready. I was like, oh, that's tomorrow. Oh well.
you know what? I thought it was a week before because mine's on the 20th. But good luck.
Everybody's different, so it's all good.
All right, so we were talking about the trains. We started with the trains coming back, and Anthony and I were there. So basically, I just want to say that you know what? It is actually pretty cool having the trains back.
Yeah.
You know, when they had that announcement, the trains are going down for 20 years, and people are complaining and everything and petitioning.
I'm not going to go.
I didn't really care
when it comes back.
I didn't really care because, hey, it's going to come back. But then before it even opened to the guests and just them testing, it was cool to see the trains coming around and hearing the whistle blow and everything. And
I totally agree. There's something to be said for kinetic movement at Disneyland.
Whoa.
And that's one reason it sucks that the Skyway and the People Mover are not there, because we've lost this just general kinetic movement. There's a flow to the parks that the monorail and the train and the People Mover had, and the Sky Buckets, that those aren't there, but at least we have the train and the monorail.
Agreed.
Like, the whole river traffic, I got thrown off the
same
other
thing.
day. I got
Same
thrown off
thing.
the other day because the train I actually went down. the train actually, one of them broke down and they had to evacuate the line. And
I heard that there's been a lot of the breaking down of the train since it opened.
I was in line at Main Street on the Main Street station, and I was only in line for about not even 10 minutes. And one of the conductors came out and was like, "Well, I'm sorry, the train's down. We don't really know how long it's going to be. One of them broke down. We got to evacuate all of them. Okay, let's do some other stuff on the river." And then I kept hearing whistles, and I was like, "Oh, great, because the train is starting to get." No, it's the Mark Twain.
Yeah.
I forget about the. I kept thinking, what's going on? Oh, nope. I got lucky. They did come back a little while later. I happened to catch it right after it started again. So short wait in line.
So yeah, like I said, it is pretty cool to have the trains back and just hearing them go around the parks and everything. Exactly, just like that.
All I gotta say, left turn, baby.
Okay, well let's get to the left turn because when Anthony and I were on the train, someone missed the left turn.
How do you miss it?
He wasn't paying attention.
I wasn't paying attention because the left turn happens at the same time that you're going over the Fantasyland side entrance to Galaxy's Edge.
And the tunnel, the new tunnel there.
Right, so as you're going over that, I'm not paying attention that's the left turn. I'm paying attention, ooh, that's the entrance for Galaxy's Edge, and there's people there, which means that wall is down, and I'm taking pictures. Oh, wait a minute. That was the left turn.
Well, it's not like it's a hard left turn. It's kind of slight.
Right, exactly.
Subtle, yeah.
It's not like they were making it sound like, whoa, 90 degrees and shit.
How did that go again? It's subtle.
But when we came back around, we were like, okay, left turn. We're going to pay attention to left turn. I'm going to take a picture, and I'm going to make a big deal about this stupid left turn that everybody's been making a big deal about. And then, it was just, left turn. Here we go. It's a left turn. I still think looking down and seeing the entrance to Galaxy's Edge is way more cooler than the fact that there's a frickin' left turn.
We're going to talk about that later. Don't ruin the whole podcast.
I'm sorry.
Did anyone feel like in that section of track that it's a little rough still?
Yeah. I did it. It felt a little rough. It almost seemed like that left turn wasn't going to happen.
Yeah.
Because it kind of like chugged along. Like what's that book? What's the book?
Casey Jr.?
No, the one.
Daniel.
I think I can.
Oh,
Little engine that could.
Little engine that could. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, well,
that's what I think about every time I use the toilet.
It is going uphill a little bit right there because it starts an uphill from about, I think there's a grade starting about where the Indian on the horseback is. It starts going slowly up over the trestles, and then when you make that corner and you're going over the two entrances to Galaxy's Edge, there is a bit of a grade there because I had to get up to that point where it's above, where normally that used to be more of a lower area. So there is
flat all the way around.
There is definitely a grade there.
Now imagine if all of us were on it at the same time.
Well, I got on the canoe and didn't sink, so I bring that up for a challenge. But some of these people here got to get to the park early.
We actually
close at dusk.
We actually started this segment talking about someone going on the canoes.
Yeah.
Dan,
Yeah,
I call bullshit.
But we'll get to that.
I got pictures.
Diggs is over here eating strawberries, feeding his face with strawberries. So
Don't hate.
Don't mind the silence. That'll probably be edited out anyways.
What I was saying about the roughness, I felt like the normal part of the track. I mean, does anybody know how much of the track was replaced?
All of that whole section would have been
that whole
replaced.
section, right?
It would have had to have been.
All the stuff from like say Tomorrowland to Frontierland, right, or to New Orleans Square is. It seemed to be smooth, like it always has.
I was going to say, I believe that whole track was replaced.
The whole thing.
From New Orleans.
Oh, from New Orleans to
Toontown.
To Toontown. Okay.
Yes.
That section of the track to me
all the way back to New Orleans?
It felt a little
Like
bumpy.
the tunnel?
Oh, to the tunnel,
It would
yeah.
have been
From the inside of Splash Mountain.
from the inside of the tunnel, right?
Yeah.
Okay, because I thought maybe it would have been all replaced past around just where the trestle is there by Hungry Bear.
by
I
Splash
thought
Mountain.
that's where
Yeah.
they would have started the new section, but if they might have done all the way back
Well,
to.
they never
New
moved the
Orleans
train.
there.
The tunnel was blocked off.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. That's
Yes.
yeah.
So that's why I'm guessing that's where they started the new track from there to Toontown. Because I remember Toontown, you were able to go over there and look at the station and see there's no tracks.
Oh, right.
So that was
I
all
never
new.
go over there.
Well, for
Yeah.
me, it felt like the normal tracks got. I don't know if it's been replaced in the last 60 years or not at any point, but decades at least of wear to the point where it's smooth, right?
Right.
But this new track is a little bum 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 bum.
You know what? I actually didn't pay attention to that.
I didn't even notice. I was too
you know,
busy
we're
looking at
all
stuff.
we're all just looking all over and seeing what's new and
I
everything.
have a very sensitive posterior.
Whoa.
These things I tend to notice.
You better call a doctor about that.
A kinetic bowel movement.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Well, they just said stay away from digs.
Oh, that's why I'm on this side of the table.
It's a big table.
All right, so yeah, I enjoy going on the train. Like I said, it was pretty cool, and to see the brand new stuff they added. And I have to say, my favorite part of all the new stuff they added is that fox. That's pretty cool, and the little fox
I've
inside.
heard, I mean, obviously, I have a personal affinity for foxes, but I have heard a lot of good things about the fox.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. That's my favorite part of all the new stuff.
Remind me where the fox. I saw the fox
After the turn.
Just after.
It's right before another tunnel. It's before the tunnel.
It's before you get to
The Toontown.
Yeah.
Before the Toontown tunnel.
There's a red light there too, because if the train hasn't left that station, that's where they stop.
Right.
Right in front of the fox. Because I know that because I got stopped there. I thought, oh great, another breakdown.
You
I'm
know,
gonna
I
have
was
to get back.
wondering about that.
Was it security?
Yeah.
You know what? I actually have seen. I've been stopped on a train by security because somebody had climbed over the wall at Hungry Bear and were hanging out like where the deer used to be along the river, just hanging out right there. And the engineer actually saw him, stopped the train, and called security. And we saw security come and pick them all up.
Crazy.
I was wondering how they did that with the trains. Like, for me, it would make sense that they all wait until they're all ready, and then they make their way to the next station, and then they all sit and wait until they're all ready, and then they move, 4 at a time. But that only works if they're running 4 trains.
Yeah, lately it's been 2, I believe. I don't know. I wasn't there counting trains, but
I was counting trees.
were you?
No, I'm just kidding. I'm going to guess you're probably not going to see 4 trains until Christmas, until maybe November, late November, early December.
Oh, they should have been
somewhere
running.
around
They
there.
should have been running 4 this first week. The lines were 40
Yeah, I
minutes
know.
long or something.
No, it's crazy. Well, I'm going to say lucky that there wasn't that big of a line. It really wasn't lucky because when I got there, we were in line, or I was in line, chilling there, waiting, and then they said that a train broke down, and you know how the cast members are. We don't know how long it's going to take, and they start making everyone leave, and then people were just waiting on top of the stairs, and then they were like, well, you guys can't wait here. We don't know how long it's going to be, blah, 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 blah. So they made everyone leave. So then I'm down there standing down there below the station, and the band was playing. So I'm watching the band for a while, and then as soon as they were done, before all that, they actually put a cast member down there so no one goes up to the stairs, go upstairs. So, but then I'm watching the band, and as soon as the band was done, I see people running up to the train. Oh, cool. So we run up there, and people get in line, and the cast members, we don't know what time, blah, 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 blah. And then, well, your cast member let people go up. What's the deal? So, once again, go back downstairs, got to sit there and wait, and blah, 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 blah. And then finally, they let people line up, and I finally got in line.
By then, I was showing up after a debacle with security, and I basically got lucky that...
You had a debacle with security? Unheard of. Inconceivable.
With my belt buckle, actually. A belt buckle debacle. And
you had a belt on?
Yes, I did.
This is an ongoing issue.
But
I guess stop for that too.
No, we had just actually came from City Hall, and I was like, "Hey, where are you?" Because I figured he got on the train, but then he was like, "Nope, didn't get on the train again." So I'm like, "Okay, we walk over there," and then all of a sudden, he's like, "Okay, we go up there," and we get on after the band was playing, and then as soon as the band was over, they were letting people up for the train. And we basically walked right on the train, and we didn't even have to stay in line, so that was pretty great.
It was down 3 hours that day I was there.
Dang.
3 hours. You'd have been waiting for that. Actually, what happened was I got on the river in the Columbia, did a couple other things with my kids, and when we left, when we walked under the tunnel to leave, I saw the train up there, and it was on. So I was like, I wonder if it's going to run anytime soon. Didn't know about it. Walked out of the park. Turned around, saw it leave the station.
That was during the week?
That was during the week.
Yeah,
saw it leave the station. So I told my kids, hey, let's wait right here. If we see another train pull up, I know they're running again. So as soon as we saw the second train pull up, get right back in line to come back in. Because there was nobody up there yet. No, I got lucky. I only waited about 5 minutes in line.
Michael, the mail guy's being bothered with the kitty here. We've got 2 naked cats. They're Sphinx kittens. They have no hair, or one has almost no hair at all. The other has a little bit of hair. One of them decided they wanted to sit behind Michael.
I'm sure people remember your cats from your Instagram you gave out last time.
I did. If anybody's seen them, it's Adventures of Yoda and Leia, I believe, or no, Yoda and Leia the Sphinx.
I don't remember.
You don't remember?
It was
the
on
name?
last week's show. Here, I'll look it up.
We'll get to that later. So yeah, I love the trains. Pretty cool. And we did mention on the podcast a few months ago about new projections inside Primeval World and Grand Canyon.
The Primeval World is really
I did not
cool.
know about the projections inside of the Grand Canyon.
We had talked about it, and we discussed whether they would do projections inside there.
There's a little bit of projection.
And I even made the comment, if they do projections, it'll probably just be backgrounds.
Right.
Which is what it ended up being.
Yeah.
Wasn't it your comment there, Diggs, when you spend $20,000 on a projector, you want to use it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, they did, like I said, they did have the new projections inside that, and that was pretty cool.
But they only work during the day, because at night they have to take those projectors out and use them on Phantasmic.
Yes, that's right. That's right. Or is it the castle for fireworks?
Something.
I don't know, one of those.
They got this one guy, he lugs it on his back,
Oh my
right?
gosh. So yeah, that was pretty cool, but the Primeval World was really awesome. And I think I remember mentioning that there probably have some pterodactyls in the background, and that's what they actually
Really
had.
cool.
You know what? They used the projections the perfect amount. They didn't try to add a bunch of dinosaurs walking in the background.
It wasn't overdone.
Or they didn't try to have a bunch of coyotes walking around in the background during the Grand Canyon scene. They used it exactly how it should have been done. They didn't overdo it like they could have easily have overdone. They could have made the volcano completely projection if they wanted to, but instead they just have the volcano or the lava coming down, but then there's still the volcano. There's a new projection volcano in the background that's shooting out lava. But you know what? They could have easily lava. The thing that one of the first things that both him and I talked about as soon as we got out was they kept the practical lava effect coming down, where they could have easily have decided to take that out and put some cooler mechanical or other kind of effect, or even made that projection somehow, but you still have the rolling barrels.
Yes.
Where they've changed it a lot inside, like Pirates with the fire and stuff, where there used to be a lot of practical effects in there, but they kept that,
tinfoil?
so that's really cool.
Yes, the tinfoil.
Yeah, the tinfoil. So it was really cool to see that they didn't overdo it, and that it's just perfect.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'm glad
Tinfoil hats are not the business.
No.
Yeah, I'm glad they did that and didn't go overboard with new effects and things like that.
And I believe they were just perfect on that lightning right in the center.
Yes.
That was
yes.
just, they didn't overdo it. I think that was just an eye catcher, because I don't feel that the pterodactyl real flashing light on it as you go by is more effective. Now they're looking at the lightning storm. So I thought that was one of the best things out of the whole projectors. Even though I haven't been on the train yet.
Yeah, he's just going off of the
Michael
nine different
blocked
camera
out.
angles.
$79.
In case anyone's confused.
I know you guys are going to donate if you keep mentioning $79.
Michael's blocked out.
We'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll get to that later. Anybody else have anything about the trains?
They're super cool. I really like the new
The bridge?
The new section,
the
with
bridge.
the trusses.
Yeah, I mean, because you can look behind you as well and see, or to the left at least, right?
Right.
Dan?
Yeah, you know what's weird about all this? I was thinking about this. So I did the canoes. I got proof, I promise. And I rode the Columbia. And to actually see the stuff on the river, that's a way better option to do.
We did
I
that,
would
actually.
agree, because I want to say that that's probably my least favorite thing, is that you can't really get the full effect of the waterfalls and stuff when you're on the train, unless you're in the back and you turn around and you look at the one the big one.
Right.
But otherwise, you can kind of hear the water flowing in front of you as you go over that.
Listen, I got robbed. I got robbed all the way around because the whole waterfall wasn't even on when I was there.
Wow.
I could see right into the Phantasmic bays.
The beaver. Did you see the beaver?
Oh, yeah.
The beaver. Oh, man, that's a fantastic little addition.
Well, from a distance, I saw that it looked like chewed out, and I'm like, I couldn't see the beaver. I actually saw pictures of the beaver later on, because everybody has pictures of beaver online. So,
well, yeah, there's sites for that.
But
it's difficult to narrow it down to the specific beaver you're looking for.
Exactly. But I saw that it looked like one of the posts from a distance was chewed. And I tried pointing out to him, but by the time he noticed, we were around the bend. He couldn't see it anymore. And I said, hey, it looks like they got a cool part over there that looks like it's chewed by the beaver.
There's a picture, yeah.
But yeah, definitely.
I got a picture of beaver.
It
Definitely
looks
from
unstable.
The left one is the one where they really messed up on that.
The left beaver?
Yeah, because I mean, if you look at the pole, if it's accurate to drop, it's going to drop right on the beaver.
Right.
And they were supposed to fix that, but I guess they didn't. So that's one mistake you can actually see plain as clear.
Which mistake are we
It's no
talking
big
about
deal.
here? Hold on. That it's not completely bitten off? Is that
No,
what he's
No,
saying?
that it
he
would fall on the
bites
beaver.
and
If he bites
falls,
it.
he's going to fall on the beaver.
Yeah, but
He
beavers
doesn't
aren't
care
that.
about that.
Politically correct.
This may be something that's new for you, but beavers aren't specifically intelligent.
Oh, I know that.
Well, I'm going to say is damn.
Yeah. Damn.
Michael, you used the word pole and beaver in one sentence.
Skill.
Pretty cool.
Hey, that's not politically correct, beaver.
They only know how to build one thing: dams.
Damn.
Dams.
You guys are stupid. All right, so yeah.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Buttons all around.
All right.
Have we not met?
All right, so yeah,
Dirty.
Dan went on the canoes, and he does have pictures of that. He showed me and everything like that, and
He's like, look, everybody can fit.
Prove it.
I don't know about all of us going on a canoe.
I'm not getting on a canoe.
I'm still not down for a canoe.
Just think Tommy Boy.
What?
Hey, all I
wait,
know
wait,
is-
wait, what are you trying to say? Think fat?
Didn't they just make the dock a little sturdier, too?
Hey, they got handicap
They got
access.
as long as the beavers don't chew up the dock.
I'm game. I mean, if anybody wants to go, I'm definitely going because I've never been on the canoes. Maybe when I was
It's
young.
also a shorter ride. It's not much work because they cut off part of the river.
Yeah, I know. Hey, actually, I wanted to ask you a question, Dan.
Yeah.
When they go by the waterfall, can you hear the instructors? Because I heard that's the biggest problem they're having.
You know, I heard
I
that
said
too.
that.
And
I said that.
Yeah, you did. I didn't have a problem.
Okay.
I didn't have that problem.
Okay, yeah, because that guy who I talked to, the employee, had said that when they were having a problem going by of people hearing, so I don't know. They turned down the volume on the
They probably
waterfall.
did. They probably did.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah, I think they turned down the volume. Maybe it used
Can
to
I
be a
say
lot
that it's-
more water.
It's a lot. I mean, the instructions are pretty simple. It's row.
No, it's stroke.
Okay, well, I was trying to keep it clean here, Dan.
That's clean. I didn't say what kind of stroke.
You guys just got done talking about beavers for 5 minutes. Now you're talking about keep it clean.
Beavers,
You can't say
poles,
stroke.
strokes.
Michael said
And
he's
they
down.
kept saying it over. Stroke. Okay.
Michael said he's down. All right. He's down to go. Let's go this weekend.
Too soon.
It's okay. I'll be at a party. Bye.
Michael, are you going to do the $79 sneaky ticket?
Do I look stupid to give
Hey,
Disney
well,
more
hey, I
money?
just
Hey,
want.
hey, hey, we're not there yet. We're
I'm
not
sorry, I
there
don't want to
yet.
ruin the
I
whole
think they're
show.
just trying to sell the rest of that electrical parade merchandise.
Pretty much.
Exactly. I just real quick. We know that you're obligated to go on the canoes at some point because you're gonna have to go on there with your daughter. So, unless she doesn't want to go.
She doesn't have a pass.
Oh well, then.
That's why we're going to Magic right now. I got the hookups.
All right, so we're gonna see who is actually gonna go on the canoes.
I'll go on the dock.
I will. No, listen. I think we should all, as a group, go on the canoes. We should all sit on one side, and then when they say stroke, we just don't. And then like
We're gonna
whoever's
have
on
a
the
stroke.
other side, and then the boat will probably just spin in circles.
Hey, just crash into a keel bowl. Hey, that's all
Somebody
good.
needs to take pictures or film it too.
Damn, Dan, I don't see. I'm not seeing what I'm believing. I'm not believing what I'm seeing.
I'm ready to stroke the oar.
Yeah.
You know what?
How was your son on the ride? I know he can be a little difficult sometimes.
No, he did fine. It was a little hot, but he actually did really well. Like when we got going, it actually kind of cooled down.
Yeah.
Caught a little breeze from the
I
waterfall.
heard about that. I
Yeah.
heard what happened.
Oh yeah, did you?
Oh, did he tell
Yeah.
our story
You tell
about?
me.
We went on Thunder, right?
I did tell him about Thunder.
Since the last podcast, Dan and I just randomly ran into each other in the park with our
Yeah.
families.
no invite.
Sure.
There was no invite because we literally just ran into each other in the store.
I was collecting those river cards.
So
That's what
we,
we're picking up.
as were we, and we said, "Hey, you want to go on Thunder with us? We're going on Thunder before we go home." So we all did. We went on Thunder Mountain together,
Yeah.
and his son did not want to go, and then proceeded to be salty for like the next 45 minutes, and he just didn't want to get over it.
Oh, I didn't tell you what happened later.
Oh, what happened?
Remember, I kind of told him, okay, well, I'll get you that thing you were looking at earlier.
yeah.
Just calm down. We're with friends and stuff. And later on, after he had calmed down, he said, "Hey, Dad, do I get that thing?" And I was like, "Oh, wait a minute, boy. Wait a minute. No. That's not how this works. You don't get something when we act like that. That's not how you treat,
So if he just dropped it and been cool, then he would have gotten the
Yeah. Yeah, if he just dropped it
hopefully-
after it'd been cool, he would have got it.
And you told him that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I always get a thing when I
So
drop it.
next time he just has to learn to drop it.
Yeah, just not be salty. That's what happens.
When you drop it, you get dollar bills
No.
thrown at you.
I was gonna say we drop it like it's hot.
Fernando.
Especially when it's salty.
I couldn't help myself.
All right, so moving on. Now, Dan, you said you went on the Mark Twain?
Mark Twain.
Oh, Columbia.
He went on the Columbia. I went on the Mark Twain.
You went on the Mark
Elizabeth's
Twain.
got a fantastic video, I think, of most of the thing there. If you want to upload it.
Cool. We'll see. We have to give it to the other
You
10.
know, I really want to get on one of the ships because I really want to get a good shot of the Indian village.
Yeah.
Because you can see the Indian village from the train, but you can't really get a good shot, especially of that medicine guy or whatever he is standing up.
The shaman.
The shaman.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I want to say that we're in a very unique 6-month period here where the animatronics along the river are all still working.
Right.
That most likely won't be the case for much longer.
That's true.
And by any chance, I'm just glad that Indian or the guy up there is the up-to-date, most new technology of animatronics that we have in the park so far. So that's a good plus.
You talking about the shaman?
Yeah,
Where did you
and
read that?
I think Disney Vlog said something in the video. But they said that that's the newest animatronic that we have, and they said that hopefully that we see more in the future. But, I mean, that's pretty good from what I've seen.
Hopefully, I can get over there and get on the Mark Twain and the Columbia. Get over there and get on that soon. Take some pictures, maybe a video or something. I don't know. We'll figure that out. But, hey, you know what? Everything on the rivers is back, and people are happy, and the train is back. And
I like choo-choo.
The Mark Twain was good. I get to sit like in the chairs in the front.
That's-
Usually,
yeah,
usually
that's
the
fun.
super old people take those
Yeah.
up, but they weren't there, and I was able to have It was nice.
Good job.
Were they running both?
Both Mark Twains?
No, the Mark Twain and the Columbia.
Yeah, they
'Cause
were.
That's not going to last.
Well, the Columbia goes slightly faster, I think. So when the Mark Twain was docking, the Columbia would be just behind it, stopped around the corner. But when the Columbia was docking, the Mark Twain was not stopped.
Yeah,
So
I noticed that because we had to slow down for the Mark Twain to leave port.
Yeah. You don't think they'll be running both for long? There just won't be enough people.
How many times have you seen them run both?
So what do? They dock one over by the
It's usually the
harbor
Columbia
galley?
that's docked. The Columbia's not out that often. A lot of times that I've been, it's only the Mark Twain out of the river.
I can't say much right now since everything is all brand new, back running up. So I don't know how they're going to be doing that. But I mean, I know what you're saying. Sometimes you just see the Columbia's docked, Mark Twain's going, or maybe Mark Twain is docked and the Columbia's going. But I don't know. I mean, usually in the summer they always have both going.
Well, if it's the Columbia, you know what I mean, and you're waiting for the Mark Twain to pull out, that's the best time to go down below deck and really check out what's down there, because a lot of people don't present pictures down there, and you can technically, check out the whole gallery from the beginning of the ship to the back of the ship. So if you guys really want to explore something that you guys never seen, head down to the Columbia. That's a good spot to check out, and of course, share some pictures.
I was kind of interested to take my kids on that because they hadn't seen that before.
There's a little room, I think, if I'm correct, there's like a little thing where you can sit in and just throw them in there. I'm like, hey, you can't move, time out.
Well, they were wandering around the ship, not like they could go anywhere but overboard. And at that time, we had the boot, or not the lifesaver, so they were good.
All right, so we're going to move on. Last week, Tim talked about the Max Pass. Well, we're talking about Max Pass and everything like that. So you used yours?
We didn't get a chance to use. We were going to, but we got to the park a little bit late, and we said, it's even at the $10. We weren't planning on riding a lot of stuff. But what I have noticed over the last couple weeks is that the Max Pass has really affected the Fast Pass queues. Has anybody else noticed that?
How so?
Explain
they're
yourself.
massive. So, like, for instance, Big Thunder Mountain, the Fast Pass queue is the same length as the line, right? Usually it's only half as long or something, right?
Well, I noticed that last week when we were
Well, we
at
were
the
there
park.
together, right? Yeah.
That line was long, but I've been a couple times since, and I haven't noticed that. The biggest thing that I've seen has been that people don't know how to use the things, so they don't know how to
That
scan
hold
their
back up
pass.
the
Well,
line.
when we were
Yeah,
there,
that backs up the line.
When we were there, the the Fast Pass queue in general went the entire length of the regular queue, and then it went out the little shack that you enter in, and then it went halfway up to the exit along the side of Big Thunder.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's probably still shorter than the regular queue, but it was, depending on how they were pulling the line, it was probably
Were
at
they
least
double
20,
scanning?
20 or 25 minutes long. And then I noticed the same thing when we were there on Tuesday of last week. Last Tuesday, I noticed that the Splash Mountain, same thing. the entire the queue was full through the whole thing, up the stairs, out the around the little turn, and then it went from the scan point. It went back along the regular queue for another.
Like near the Fast Pass tickets area, huh?
Or they would take your Fast Pass when you first enter. It went, I don't know, like 50 feet back or something, 100 feet back. So I think that because they're mixing in Fast Pass, regular Fast Pass, Max Pass, DAS, and whoever else, like, Club 33 or like whatever other tickets they give out, all into those one queues. I think
three-ride temporary DS type of system.
Right, if a ride breaks down or whatever. And it's all electronic, so you have to scan your thing, and then if it doesn't scan right, then it's like, oh, go to the side. I just think that maybe they're not prepared for it. They don't know how to regulate it or something yet. That's my opinion.
No, you're right, because with DS, a friend of mine had DS, and we went on there. We scanned it, of course. Then we came back to it, and then it wouldn't scan the thing. It turned blue, kept turning blue, but nothing was happening.
Well, blue's supposed to be the color for DAS.
Yeah, but and she thought, well, we can't let you in until it shows up.
Because the ladies, basically their system screwed up, right? Yeah.
So, I mean, like I said, it turned blue, but they just kept, and they're trying to see, and she said, well, we can't go in. And then the other girl came later, she said, let them in. It's turning blue, just let them in.
Right. I think that's a problem that they have a lot of times, too, is that the cast is new or something. They're front of line people, and they don't know how to just say, you know what, go ahead. They can, and I doubt that they would get in any trouble, but they're scared.
Yeah, kind of like security not wanting to check behind your belt buckle.
They're scared to do it any different than exactly the way that they were taught. They don't know how to think outside the box, and I think that's part of the issue.
And then also, you mentioned Club 33. Since my friend's a member, he was just telling me today about their thing. They're still giving up their regular passes, but they're even having trouble scanning, even though they're supposed to be scanning too.
Right.
And they had trouble scanning them too.
Oh, my friend is a member of Club 33.
Dirty.
So the Max Pass situation, I think, kind of segues into where something big has changed at the resort, kind of under our noses, and it's the fact that the readmits, the little paper tickets that they would give you, a lot of times they would write on them, this is good for all attractions, or all attractions except for Space Mountain, or all except for Guardians, and they would they'd put the number of people in your party, and they give them to you if a ride breaks down, or just I've had them just give, somebody says, oh, let me make some magic for you and your family, and they just give one out, because up to this point they've had no value, right? They just let me replace your time if you've had an issue or whatever. But now that Max Pass, there's actually no one knows really what it is except for them, but Max Pass has placed a dollar amount value. There's a financial value now to every single Fast Pass, because somebody's paying for them in some case, and that means that all of them have a value. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they don't have the ability as cast members. None of them, except for guest relations, have the ability to give out Fast Passes or group Fast Passes, and it's changed things. The DOS system completely reset in the last 2 weeks.
Yep.
Like, a lot of people had to re-enroll. I know that we had to. It had only been like a month, and then suddenly, the file didn't exist anymore. And
yeah,
it was,
exactly.
And it was a long. I spent like an hour or something trying to figure it out, even though we have like a file number that has all the notes in it, and I see it there, but
it's not registering.
It's like not registering.
Yeah, that was a lot of complaints.
I've heard that a lot.
They registered, but all of a sudden it's not popping up.
Right.
Yeah.
So like, well, you got to do it again. You got to do blah blah blah, and they were getting mad.
At the rides, luckily the cast members were being cool about it. They'd say, "Oh, you know what? It's not registering, but I'm going to let you go this time. If you could just go to that was happening with Dan. We were there, but if you could just go to City Hall like before the end of your day or today, or after this, I'm not going to keep you from going now, though." But they're in a transitionary period for sure, figuring out their internal scanning computer system, I guess you'd call it, the thing that handles Max Pass and DOS and all of the stored Fast Passes for different systems. And then going back to Max Pass, from what I've heard, And maybe you guys could, if you're listening and you've had some experience, maybe write us an email or something. What's the email, guys?
MousePIRE@gmail.com.
Well, there you go. If you write us an email and let us know what your experience with MaxPass has been, because from the information I've gotten, if you're allowed to hold more than one pass at a time,
Yes.
depending on timing. You know something, Michael?
I know somebody is holding up to 3 so far.
Okay. So,
and by any chance, say like if you're going to the next one and you have one maybe, and the ride breaks down, you can go up to, I believe, I'm not sure if the number's 3 now, up to 3 people. And there are rides that you cannot go on, like Space Mountain. They have limits of some rides of the major
if something
attractions.
breaks down or something.
Yeah, like supposedly you don't have to have the cast member come and scan it. It's automatically, sure, it changes that. But beyond that, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, the way it's supposed to work is that you get you register for your time at 2 p.m. for Space Mountain, and then as soon as they scan you on the way in, you can automatically go on your phone while you're in the line and choose your next attraction.
Before that Wi-Fi cuts off.
That's another issue. Does anybody else want to talk about the park Wi-Fi?
No. We don't have time for that.
I can tell you, we don't have time for that. I can tell you this real quick, and it's very embarrassing. Magic Mountain has way better Wi-Fi than Disneyland, and that's embarrassing.
Which is super embarrassing if you look at their trash cans.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The Wi-Fi is spotty.
We know where the money
best.
comes from now, not from the trash can.
I'm going to give them a little bit of time, though, right? They had to put together the Wi-Fi quick for MaxPass. They probably didn't anticipate that everybody in the park was going to try to use it, even if they weren't on MaxPass.
Really?
Oh, no.
You have Wi-Fi and you don't expect everybody to use it? That's ignorance.
Well, not even that, the fact that they're
It's
promoting
ignorance.
it.
None but
period.
ignorance.
I mean, they promote the Walt Disney World Wi-Fi, and it sucks, too.
Angel Stadium has Wi-Fi. It works okay.
There you
Boo.
Go Dodgers.
Dodger Nation, homie.
Does nobody have any other information about what I'm talking? Because
No, that's pretty much it. And then the only thing is, when you guys mentioned last week, is that when they changed the system where, I used to do it a lot, where I used to go to DCA, get my racers, go to Disneyland, go back and forth, park hop, and have like two.
can't do that anymore.
No, you can't. And that the fact that I can be in Disneyland and get a fast pass for any ride in DCA and not have to be in the park. You can be
if you
anywhere.
have MaxPass.
If you have MaxPass,
well, that's why they did that.
Yeah, but you don't have to. You know how you said, "Oh, I have to go to this park and be in the park." No, you don't. I could be sitting in Tomorrowland. I'm like,
Oh, we
talked
talked about that on the previous episode,
Yes.
whether or not we'd have to be in the park. Right?
Yeah, he's answering.
And he's answering.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Well,
beyond that, like I said, the only problem that I've been hearing is when you scan it, yes, you're able to do it, but by the time you get near the ride, there's no Wi-Fi for you to do it, and that's one of the major problems. And the fact that when you go to a ride, say like you go early in the morning, Toy Story, a lot of times it's supposed to reset 30 minutes. But in the beginning, that the fact that the park's not open, it will give you a 5-minute gap. And so from what I've been seeing, and a lot of YouTubers going and say in the morning, out of nothing in the afternoon so far, they'll get it, 5 minutes, scan another one before they even try to get so far so that the Wi-Fi can work. Then they'll schedule another one, go, and for some reason, you'll only need 10 minutes because the park's so empty. So I've seen people have 3, and there's a glitch. I don't know what kind of glitch it is, but sometimes where it's not reading it correctly, and they'll give you another option to get another one.
Probably has to do with Vanellope.
I mean, it makes sense that they took away the option to do 2 parks at once.
Yeah.
Because then they can say, oh, well, you want to do that now, you got to spend your pass holder, $79 a year, right?
$75.
$75 a year, right, Dan? We talked about this.
Yeah, $75 a year.
Yeah. Or you got to spend the $10 in the day if you're there with a bunch of people that day or something. Do you guys think it's worth it? I mean, if you had I don't ride a lot of rides every trip.
I could tell you this. I was talking to Diggs.
So
I
it's
was
not
like,
worth it for me.
If me by myself, as in going with these guys, they don't go on rides.
Right.
So what's the point? But at the same time, I take a lot of photo passes. So
We don't go on rides that require MaxPass. I mean, we can go on like Pirates or something at night, but those things don't require any Fast Pass or Max Pass. You just get on if you know when the right time to go is.
Well, of course, you know what I mean. But sometimes, I'm like, hey, let's go on a ride.
I've talked about plenty of times about wanting to go. If you go with somebody that doesn't go that often, about doing it for the day. I have no problem with that.
Yeah,
I keep talking about grad night, but that's what I'm going to do. Wherever I end up hanging out with it. Well, because I work with students, so hanging out, whoever's kind of hanging around. Hey, you're lucky. I'm going to buy you 3. Max Pass, and we're going to use it for the day.
Which we're going to take advantage, $10, because I'm pretty sure by December it's going up.
Oh yeah, we talked about that when they first announced that they would probably that it was undoubtable that they were going to raise that up. I'm going with probably 25 to 35 is what I'm predicting.
I think I'd still go at 20.
You think
I
that?
I'd still do it.
I'm calling it right now, 25 to 35.
All right, so we need to move on because we are going over. All right, so we're going to move on with some news that came out this week about downtown Disney parking.
Uh-oh.
A lot of people were very, very happy with this news, and I am being sarcastic when I say that. But yeah, it says effective August 16th that the parking policy will be updated to provide 2 hours of free parking when you make a $20 minimum purchase and receive a validation from any downtown Disney location, including quick service restaurants and kiosks.
They're probably going to stamp the receipts.
Or up to 4 hours of free parking when validation from any downtown Disney table service restaurant or AMC theater movie experience.
Now, I have a real quick question because I saw people bringing it up.
Well, let me finish real quick.
Go ahead.
It says beyond these validation, each additional hour will cost $12, charged in 30-minute increments with a minimum $6 charge after the initial 15-minute grace period. Additionally, the maximum daily parking and lot fees will increase from $36 to $48.
The max daily?
Yes.
Now, I have a few things. Who cares? This is first of all. Who cares? What's the big deal? Wah.
I care.
It's going to stop people from doing what Dan does and parking in downtown Disney for free to go into the parks for a couple hours just to go shopping or to go do something very...
but it's not if he's going shopping.
You're talking about Fernando.
Right.
No, I just go to Trader Sam's.
I'm talking about people who park at downtown Disney to not go to downtown Disney.
I've seen those tiki mugs, Fernando. You spend the $20.
Oh, yeah.
But you know what? In fairness, though, the hotels are kind of an extension of downtown Disney, even though they're not. But they're more of an extension of downtown Disney than what the theme park is. And there are people that park in there at downtown Disney for free to be closer for some reason. I don't know why. Just so they can go into the theme parks, so they can go buy pins or whatever stupidness that they're doing that's going to be within 2 hours.
$20 is 2 corn dogs and a churro. Come on.
Exactly. So, I mean, the thing is that first of all, I want to say that they don't specify. They say 4 hours for movie or sit-down restaurant. What if you do both? It's still just a one-time 4-hour thing. Because I saw a lot of people complaining, oh, what if I'm going to a movie and dinner? Really, if you're going to take more than 4 hours to go to a movie and dinner, well, then, first of all, you're watching a stupid movie. And second of all, you're taking way too long to eat.
I will say that just recently they changed this policy. What, maybe 6 months ago, 8 months ago?
Right.
It was a while back.
It was always 4 hours. No, or was it 3 hours?
No, it was 4 hours. Oh, it was 3
hours. 3.
And then it went down.
Right.
It went down
because
to 2.
Very few movies are over 3 hours, right?
Dirty House of Blues closing because I never used to get it validated because the ticket booth would be shut by the time the show was over.
Well, realistically, you can park there from 8 a.m. in the morning, right? And they don't even have a thing open for tickets. And then you just stay in the park until 1 a.m. And then you take your sweet time walking through downtown Disney. You can stay as late as you want.
There's Michael Disney feet right there.
Right.
No, they put in machines so you
you
put
can't
your ticket in
when they changed it.
Credit card or
you couldn't do that anymore once they changed it.
Yeah.
They have new machines.
Yes.
Yeah, when they did it the 6 months ago or whatever you're talking about, when they changed that, they changed it so that you can come into the parking lot early. Because we noted that if they had done that before when the 60th, when they were doing the pins, we wouldn't have been able to park in downtown Disney to go for the diamond pins like what we were doing then. So they really changed a lot of things. But I want to make a point that people complaining about this, the only thing I have to say is you've clearly never been to San Francisco. Because San Francisco is way more expensive.
As much as Anthony likes to compare Disneyland to other places.
Hey, that's a good one. That's a good one.
But that's the thing, though. The thing
Apples
is that...
and oranges.
No, it's not. The thing is people... It's a tourist trap, and all tourist traps charge a lot more for parking than what Disneyland has been doing for downtown Disney. they're lucky that they're just now getting to these prices. Like I said, there's lots of places, public parkings in San Francisco.
I was in San Diego a couple weeks ago in Gaslamp. $49 a night to park.
Exactly, that's what I mean.
Yeah, for Comic-Con.
No, I was for the conference.
Yeah, for Gaslamp.
I was for work.
Yeah, there's lots of places. San Francisco, San Diego, lots of different places where public parkings are a lot more worse than what you're paying at downtown Disney. So all these people who are complaining about that, you know what? Just shut up and go try parking someplace that charges a lot more, and then you can complain.
Just shut up and dance.
Exactly. Because
I understand.
You know, it's not that big of a deal. It's parking. If you don't like it, go park at the structure and pay $20 flat.
In your face.
Tell them.
Well, if you think about it, if you go and spend $20, right, flat, you get 2 hours of free parking. But how much would 2 hours cost you if you didn't get a validation? $24. Yeah. So they're really not giving you a lot. They're kind of forcing you to spend
Is
money.
that because you said the minimum was $6, or is that just for the first hour?
$6 for the first half hour.
Oh, for the first half hour. Okay, so it's $12
You know what?
an hour.
I'm just going to park where I normally park.
Exactly.
I know. That's what all of us, except for Fernando, are just going to keep parking where we've always parked.
I hate him.
I mean,
Story lot.
the only time we park in the downtown Disney lot is if we're going to go just buy pins or get a Starbucks or do something quick. And in that case, we're buying stuff too. So we're there to purchase something, and then we leave.
I just have one more quick point I want to make.
And this is the last one.
This is the last one. I think that they're doing this because they want to try and stop people from parking at downtown Disney, because eventually that parking lot is going to have to close to make room for the hotel that we talked about in this podcast a year ago.
And that is something that I was thinking about too.
That's the first thing I thought of,
yes.
is that they're trying to phase out people who are parking there for stupid reasons. Sorry, Fernando.
Hate that guy.
So I think they're just trying to
Can you
phase
hear his
out
voice,
people
Fernando?
parking there who shouldn't be parking there, because eventually they want to get people used to not being able to park there at all. So I think that's what's happening, because eventually that parking lot's going to close.
All right, moving on. I saw someone post this in a group, and I saw a friend post this, and of course, this is happening again when people are just posting something without actually reading. All right, so of course, you get the headline saying Disney is removing the California from California Adventure. So everyone sees that headline and goes, "Oh my God, this is happening." Yes, let's try to read the article. Okay, that's all you have to do is read, people. Right, Dan?
Please, just read.
Learn how to.
Yeah, I thought for a second there that this might have been written by Tom Corliss, but
No.
it was not. Although it is written by somebody in Florida.
I know. I thought of the same thing when I
don't
saw
know
it.
how people in Florida keep thinking that they know better than people that in California.
They're all a
but,
little heat stroke. Florida's closer to the sun.
Well,
But
yeah.
if you listen to this, you've already probably figured out I'm a teacher. Let me tell you how to read. You read, and then you read again to make sure that you saw something right the first time. That's the way that it works.
Because this is just as bad as Pirates of the Caribbean is being changed for PEC. No, it's not. They didn't say that. That's not what it says.
They're taking our guns.
And our women.
Exactly.
All right, so basically, this is an opinion of the guy who wrote this article, and it makes sense. I'm not going to argue that what he's saying is not true or it doesn't make sense. Basically, the article is saying that, Disney California Adventure was a park to celebrate California, had all this California theming, and that's what the park was when it first came out. But now, since Disney has been changing, adding Guardians, putting Pixar stuff in there, basically taking out a lot of California vibe, it's not a California park anymore.
There's one particular thing in this article that I want to take note with, that I want to just, because it's stupid and they don't know what they're talking about. They mention that Cars Land shows off the desert of California's
I agree.
Radiator Springs. Nobody has ever said that Radiator Springs is in California. If anything, Radiator Springs is based off of a town that's in Arizona, and it's based off of the stretches of Route 66 that are in Arizona, New Mexico, and Texas. Nothing has ever been connected has connected cars to California. So
I thought it was right next to Springfield.
So this person's obviously they don't know what they're talking about. Like I said, once again, Florida people don't know what they're talking about when it comes to California, when it comes to Disneyland. Yeah. So already at that point, Disneyland or California Adventure has already had stuff in it that had nothing to do with California. So that's him just making a huge assumption. Oh, it's desert. Well, we don't have as much desert as the rest of Route 66, so you know what? Just calm the frick down.
Hasn't that changed a while ago, though?
What?
I mean, when it first opened, it definitely was a celebration of California. No one can argue that. Golden Gate Bridge was there as soon as you walked in. But once they kind of started changing Buena Vista Street,
well, the argument
to more like this part celebrates more Walt's arrival in California. It's like Disney's California adventure.
And the thing is that real quick also that people make a big deal about Hollywood Land and all of that. But you know what? Hollywood Land and the Hollywood Backlot are two areas that have never really had a distinct identity anyways. I mean, they stuck Mad Tea there, nothing to do with California. Monsters, Inc., nothing to do with California or Hollywood or the Backlot.
That's why I agree with the title saying that California is being taken out of Disney's California Adventure because it has nothing to do with just California anymore. And that's the basis of this article. And people just see the headline and saying, oh, Disney is going to take away the California out of the name of the park. No, that's not what the article says. Now, is that going to happen eventually?
I believe it will.
We've been saying that for a while.
We've been saying for a long time they were going to change it. Just like Disney MGM Studios, they took away the MGM and became Disney's Hollywood Studios. Just like with that. In fact, there's rumors there's been rumors for a couple of years that Disney Hollywood Studios was going to have another name change. Yep. So I do believe that California Adventure at some point will have a name change. It should just be called Adventure. I don't know.
It's going to be DA. That's it. DA.
Disney's Adventure.
Yeah.
Park.
Oh, DAP? All right, then. DAP.
Disney's Second Gate.
There you go. So, yeah, I mean, that just, it makes me mad when people just start posting this. And then, like I said, a friend of mine posted it, and I had to go and let her know, hey, you know what? It never said that in an article. And another group posted it, and I said the same thing to them. But, I mean, we all know when Marvel coming in and Pixar going up at the pier, they can't keep the California name.
And you know what?
Did you start a petition yet, Michael?
What do you guys think they'll do with the name? Where could it go?
I think they'll just phase it out.
They have to phase it out.
They're going to call it Disney's Adventure?
That makes sense.
Just something completely not even related to that.
I agree.
Disney Adventure Park?
Just a completely new name.
It'd be a whole new name. Like a whole new world?
Well, they took MGM Studios, Disney MGM Studios to Disney Hollywood Studios. So maybe they take California Adventure Park to Disney's Adventure Park, or...
I don't know. I mean, it could be something like that, but I think it'd be a whole different name.
Entities owned by Disney Park.
There you go.
Pixar Park.
Disney's Properties Park.
There you go.
Intellectual property.
There you go.
Call it what it is. Just give us your money.
And instead of DCA, it'd be DIP.
Or for Michael, DAB.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, that's all I got to say about that. I think it's stupid how people just can't read the whole article and actually,
Yeah, whether we agree with the article or not, or what's within the article, like Cars Land is not in California, but the whole point was that people don't know how to read, and that it's the fault of the author. He should not. Obviously, that's the internet. Clickbait titles. That's all the internet is clickbait titles. It's just yet another clickbait title to get people responding to just the title and not the actual article itself.
Aren't you glad that they took away the
clickbait
Golden Gate Bridge? Because, parking would have been more.
Pretty much. And the toll.
Do you have a special occasion coming up? Looking to personalize your trip with a keepsake? Create customized buttons for birthdays, engagements, family vacations, even bridal parties, or just because. Check out buttonsbydiggs.com today. Buttons by Diggs, Buttons by Diggs. Remember, those are buttons, not pins.
All right. So also making news was the announcement for annual pass holders that are blocked out. And
Michael.
Yeah. So basically, it says limited time blockout dates tickets for the Main Street Electrical Parade before it goes away. They are letting any annual pass holder who are basically blocked out right now and until the end of the Main Street Electrical Parade, you're able to purchase a blockout ticket for $79. And it's pretty cool because it is Park Hopper. So they're not just limiting whatever.
Lemonade?
Lemonade.
At least they're not giving you just Disneyland.
I like that album.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't argue with that. I mean, that's the only thing I'll give it.
Well, especially since it's supposedly geared toward people wanting to see the electrical parade, they could have easily limited it to just Disneyland.
You think they're going to use this as a tester to bring back the blockout day ticket, but just for maybe DCA or just on days that are not as busy or something?
That's a possibility. I mean, I don't see why not. I understand that the fact that they took out that in the first place is because of overcrowding, blah, 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 blah.
A really terrible idea just came to my mind, and it connects with what he has to talk about. Did you talk about that already? No, you haven't talked about that. The AP thing. So this might connect to that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we'll get to that in a minute.
Because if what he has to say is true, then it might bring back that.
Yeah, but let's get to that later.
Terrible idea. Terrible thoughts.
Also, all right, so like I said, it is $79 for a Park Hopper ticket, and it says ticket valid for use by purchasing pass holder or applicable blockout dates from August 4th through the 20th.
So basically just for the last 2 weeks of the electrical parade.
Yeah, of course you have to buy the tickets at the booth, or you can call 714-781-PASS. Limit one purchase per annual passport.
Per day. Or just once during the period?
Only once.
Per day.
Oh, really?
Oh,
no,
so they
per
can
day.
come every day.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
they can come every day if they want.
You know they'll take any money they can.
Yeah. Now let's get to this. They also have some pass holder offerings.
These light up ears, are they the same ones that they had before?
Same.
Did they leave or are they coming back?
They've never left.
Same.
Okay, so they're just advertising shit that's already here.
They just want to get rid of them now.
Why don't they try getting rid of those Haunted Mansion shirts? Or not Haunted Mansion, the Space Mountain shirts first.
I know, huh?
The red ones?
Yeah, the red ones.
That are in the corner of the
those same ones.
All right, so here's some pass holder offerings, which has already started. Main Street Electrical Parade glow ears, as we were talking about, and the T-shirts. Pass holders will receive an extra 10% discount in addition to what you already get, which is 30% off for signatures, which is pretty cool. There's some tasty parade-themed treats at Jolly Holiday and Market House. Pass holders can buy 2 parade delish desserts for the price of 1. That's really cool.
That's some fat time right there.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was going to say.
Like you can get twice as fat for half the money. Right?
Yeah.
Is that where
Yes.
consensus, guys?
Yes.
Hey, it sounds like just me and Diggs are talking about getting fat.
I think they're just dreaming about it or something. I don't know.
You can talk about it. I live it.
Well, what I want to know is, do they have a specific list of the stuff that's going to be good for the 10% extra? Or are we just supposed to guess?
Are the themed?
Garbage, dude. I saw it.
I think it's just the shirts
The
and
shirts and
the
that little
ears,
thing.
the plastic
That's
ears.
it? So just those two things is the
believe
only thing
so.
we get the extra 10%?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Now, if they gave us the extra 10% on the food... then
They're
it'd
giving
be-
you half off.
Oh, what?
Buy one, get one free. Desserts.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I mean, I guess.
Have you guys actually seen the merchandise in there? It's still in that little tiny stand in Disneyana.
Right.
It's small. I saw it the other day. There's nothing there.
That's why they want those suckers to buy it.
Now,
If I'm
when you
not
do the
sucker,
buy one, get one free, does it have to be the same item or can it be a different item?
has to be the same item, I'm sure.
No, they're not that stingy, are they?
Equal or lesser value, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's probably something like
They'll
that.
probably let you get like a
Well, yeah, it should be
monorail
equal.
macaroon. Or not monorail. Matterhorn macaroon and
No, it's macaron.
Macaron.
Macaron. But what are the other ones? The French ones are macaroons, right?
I
The
don't.
ones with the 2 cookies.
I've never been there.
Macaroons are made out of coconut.
That's a macaron.
That's a macaroon.
Hey, cabron, let's move on.
All right, next. Aladdin's Oasis dining package with reserved parade viewing. Pass holders receive an extra 10% discount In addition to the regular passport savings, all merchandise and food or beverage offerings subject to availability. Now,
this is for the parade.
This is for everything. All right, so let me talk about the availability. I've heard that they've ran out of the desserts. When people go to the Jolly Holiday and there's nothing there, and they say, "Oh, we're out for the day," or "Come back later." So, annual pass holders are taking advantage of this and are going there early and grabbing all the desserts.
Yeah, but they should make more.
Well, that's the thing. Someone went there at 7:00 and they were told that that's it. They don't have any more, and they were not going to make any more.
That's just bad business.
I agree. But that could also be a cast member just saying that and not knowing any better. You know, there'll be some there later.
Can we talk about how you know when a cast member is lying? Does anyone have an answer?
They open their mouth.
Their lips are moving. Yeah, that's in fact the answer.
All right, so like I said, all those discounts are available now, as of now, so you can go and check that out. And if you are interested in checking out the Main Street Electrical Parade, go grab, and you're blocked, go grab your ticket, $79. Michael over here says it's not worth it.
Nope. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, if it was something like Paint the Night where it came back and it was going somewhere else or closing in general, I'd pay that $79. But for something that's been around and transferred so many times, I'm good.
Yeah, I wouldn't buy the ticket either. I wouldn't buy $79 just to go to the park for a day.
Now, the only question I have, is that only exclusive for blackout people or in general all pass holders?
Why would you need to buy one if you weren't blocked out?
No, I'm saying like if I'm going to pay that $79, I want those discounts just for us blackout people. Because you guys can come anytime and grab for full price, but
you're
you
not
guys
getting
have
it.
that access. But
you're not.
The sign in front of it says 10% off for pass holders.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh,
like,
I know. No, but you're not getting it. It's for all pass holders.
No, if I was a blackout person, I wanted it exclusive for me because
Well,
we got done
the
dirty.
$79, Michael, is not for access to the discount. It's for access to the access to the park.
Hey, homie, I'm a pass holder. What do you expect?
The only thing I would say is that I think, though, if they're going to give you a discount, it should be at least 50%. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
and $79 is not even 50% because it's what, $150 for basically for a park hopper. At least that's what it was. It might have went up, depending on the day because of the fluctuation.
I was gonna say,
but I know it was about $150 for to add the park hopper. So that's what I mean. $79, even if it's more than that, then obviously it's still not really worth it because
Here's a question. If they were doing this special access for pass holders for, like, say, a World of Color final performance, do you think that they'd make it a park hopper?
Yes.
No, absolutely not. They're not going to give you access to Disneyland when they don't have to. The only reason it's a park hopper is because DCA is not that busy right now.
Yeah, the only thing that they're really, if they're trying to promote anything at DCA, it's Guardians.
Yeah.
But that's the whole point of the extra.
I would just say that, like, if I really wanted to do it, and because I'm a SoCal, I would go on a Saturday. Someday that I've never gone, and obviously right now what's the highest price right now to pay for a Saturday. So, if I choose to, I would pick a Saturday. That's the only thing.
I think it comes down to the point of what pass holder in their right mind is going to pay $79 to be able to go. The only way I would see that as an example of somebody who would do that would be not this time of year. It would be like the example of a couple of years ago when, for the 50th, when Jose had to buy a whole ticket to be able to go on the 60th because he's blocked out.
Right.
Because he had a pass that was blocked out that day. So, that's the only kind of situation where I think if you're a pass holder, even if you have the SoCal pass, at some point you've already seen Electrical Parade since it's banned back.
Well, who in their right mind would come back on the busiest day they could either? If you're going to pay $79, Michael, why wouldn't you come on a Thursday when it's the least busy?
The point is that if you're a SoCal pass holder or whatever, at some point you've seen the Electrical Parade.
Still two parades right now. They're open until midnight every night.
And the whole time that you've been blocked out, since the last day you were not blocked out, you've known that the parade was going to end August 20th the whole time.
Yes.
So who needs... They've already seen the Electrical Parade because they would have made... Like you saw the Electrical Parade your last day before you got blocked out. Because
No, I was with you guys, but I saw it the week before that. Yeah.
Okay, but you get my point.
Yeah.
So
Can I just say that right
That-
at this very moment, the Electrical Parade is starting its second performance at Disneyland?
Yay. I mean, if you're
So the
going to
point
do
is
it the
that
last
if you're
day.
a pass holder who would need to see the Electrical Parade, you've already done it. So you have there is absolutely no reason, unless you're a bag of money. But if you're a bag of money, to be honest, you would have the Signature Plus.
Or if you want to say goodbye.
True that.
So the point is that who's going to pay who, unless you're super stupid, whom, thank you, teacher, who's going to see, who's going to pay $60 and $79 to go on a day when they could just wait a couple more weeks and they're back in the park anyways?
Or they can watch it on YouTube like Michael.
Exactly.
right, see?
9 different ways.
There you go. All right. Well, speaking of Signature Pass,
Uh-oh. Dirty.
At me.
So I was looking through the Disneyland website, and I noticed that the bullet points under the descriptions for one or more of the passes has changed. The Disney Signature Passport specifically. Okay, so for Signature Plus, it says admission to the parks every day of the year, and then it has an asterisk. And I believe that the asterisk is on the bottom, and it basically says that unless the parks are at capacity, you can visit them. Underneath that, the bullet point says visit both theme parks on the same day. The Disney Signature Plus also now includes the Max Pass feature. So for $200 more for the year, you get an additional value of $80, right? And then it also includes, Max Pass includes the Photo Pass as well. So really, it's only $120 more for the
125. We figured.
it's $125 more for Signature Plus. And then it talks about the dining and stuff and theme park parking. If you go up to the Disney Signature Passport, the bullet point starts out with visit both theme parks on the same day, most days of the year, and then an asterisk.
Most.
So what it seems like is that they've taken out the guarantee that you can visit both parks. Now, after speaking to some people that we know that have some connections, basically what we think this means is that they're going to decide at some point before the park reaches capacity to stop allowing in annual pass holders to Disneyland. Now, despite what some people may have heard, DCA has never yet reached capacity ever, not even New Year's Eve or anything. So at Disneyland, they may say, okay, we're at 90% or 94% or whatever, and we want to be able to keep selling one-day tickets or multi-day tickets, so we're going to stop letting in pass holders, and we're going to say, please go on and visit over to California Adventure. And then later on in the evening, who knows, they may decide to let them back. But I think it's going to be an on-the-spot thing.
Logistically,
that
that sounds like it would be a nightmare, because how do you stop pass holders from walking up and just being...
You don't.
They're going to get all the way up to the turnstile, and they're going to say, sorry, we can't let you in. Talking about earlier, security being a guest relations nightmare. Jesus. Talk about pass holes getting pissed off. Jeez.
Well, that's why I think that they're not going to implement this yet, as far as I'm concerned. But it seems like they're putting it in the information now, so that later, when Star Wars Land opens or whatever happens, that the park's really busy, that it's like preemptively in there. Oh, this information's been in the passes for about a year or whatever.
How much confusion was that Costco?
I'm sorry?
That's what reminds me of that. How much confusion was the Costco pass that was just DCA?
Oh,
that came and went.
Yeah.
I think Anthony got something with saying it's a
does.
nightmare with the logistics of it.
But
and how do you control this?
With this, though, they have the ability to say, we're sorry, this is part of the thing that we've had up on our website for a year, but they're not telling you to go home, and they're not telling you to cough up any more money. They're just saying you can only go there. And DCA is still a good time, right? Still a lot of cool stuff to do over there. So it's their nice way to say piss off, but in a limited sort of
They're
fashion.
just covering
I
their
guess.
butts for any complaints, pretty much.
Now, I mean, if you've heard definitively that that's the way they're going to do it, what they might do, because that's not how I interpreted the wording.
Neither did I.
I interpreted it that they have the option to create
more peak days so you can't get in.
Blockout dates and but going along the same lines as what he's talking about, specifically blockout dates at Disneyland only.
Yeah.
Not necessarily them cutting you off or creating like a pass holder capacity, but they specify, you have specified Disneyland blockout dates that they might add later.
I think
That's
we're
the way
talking
I
about
interpret.
both.
That's the way that I interpret that.
I think we're talking about both things because on the bottom here, a couple bullet points down on the bottom, it says blockout day at supply, including December holidays and other peak days.
And see, the other peak days at some point could be easily become
spring break,
Disneyland's birthday, number one.
No, it would be the birthday.
The birthday,
Yeah.
number one. And then also, looking ahead, all of the first days of Star Wars Land, a.k.a. Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah.
All of the
19.
all of the first couple weeks. Because we've heard the rumors about how they weren't going to allow pass holders in. What if then that becomes basically all passes except for Signature Plus are blocked out, specifically the first month of Galaxy's Edge or something like that.
Or if they only allow...
But you're still allowed, rather than just being not allowed altogether, you could still come and go to DCA.
Right.
So it's a park specific, rather than just not being... Because obviously we've heard the stupid rumors from Mice Chat about the blockout on Galaxy's Edge itself. Well, in this case, it would
How
be...
on earth would you even handle that?
You couldn't. That's the
Oh,
point.
you can't come in here.
That's
you're talking
even
about to
worse?
the land?
Yeah, to the land.
They would limit people that buy park ticket, what type of park ticket you
See,
have, and
that's
they would
even worse
enter them one
logistically.
way and exit them another.
That's even worse logistically than doing that.
Oh,
at
that's
the
why
gate.
there's two entrances.
Well, if you think
Exactly.
about
Three.
it, when they open Star Wars Land, they're going to have one side completely in, the other one probably blocked, or for special people, or obviously they're going to pay for it, and you're going to get that middle access Frontierland and the exit. And trust me, cast members are going to be jerks. They are, because it's not that they want to. They're going to implement, hey, you do something, it's going to cost you some points.
They're not even going to allow
Hey, I better
you
get an,
near...
get an arm across my chest from Kevin, okay?
They're not even going to let us near the entrances or exits to take pictures probably within a certain distance without having the correct ticket.
Can I just say this is a good donut?
You better get another one.
That's why you haven't heard from Diggs in a while, because he took the opportunity with everybody else talking to eat a donut.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that, like, as you know...
Diggs is having fat time right now.
I think they'll implement what they did with the Main Street Electrical Parade for Star Wars Land. They will block it out the first month, half a month. I don't think the full month. And they're going to make you charge. I think that maybe they'll say, hey, 100, 250 or 150, something like that.
I was going to say...
a little bit more, but then you're going to get to the point where halfway, okay, pass holders, will give you a deal. And then after that final, it depends. I say 2 months. I don't say, because you gotta always figure Star Wars community is damn big, and it's beyond Disney. I can say it's near Disney. So
Close
you're
to
going to have
equal,
not
yeah.
just Disney, you're going to have Star Wars freaks from all over
Well, I mean,
the
because
world.
number one, obviously, you have a whole lot of people that are Star Wars and Disney fans, obviously.
That's right.
Well, we talked about this before, that the likelihood of them opening Star Wars Land in April during Celebration, at least for special tours, is like really high.
Huge.
Like, why wouldn't they capitalize on the opportunity to do special? I mean, they could charge literally $1,000 for a preview access and one ride or something to Star Wars Land. You get 2 hours in the thing, and then access to one ride, and then you get like escorted out or something. Who knows? But one thing that bothers me about Disney is that they don't capitalize on the stuff that they should be, and then they up the prices for everybody else on things that the value's not there. So I really hope that they capitalize correctly on the Star Wars Celebration people.
Yep.
And then don't raise our pass prices as much or something. You know.
Well, it's coming to Anaheim this year, isn't it? Supposedly.
We
in
don't know.
2019.
Nothing's
okay.
confirmed.
Okay.
Most likely the year that Star Wars Land opens, around the time that Star Wars Land opens, but nothing's confirmed.
Been a lot of rumors.
I would just say, if by any chance it's in Anaheim, that's going to guarantee more than a month block, because you figure how many people are going to come all over the world just for Star Wars Land if it's in Anaheim. So that's more of a reason for Disney to be like, hey, you know what? We're going to charge these international people too.
I agree. We're getting a little bit off track.
Yeah.
This comes down to though what they're. I think it's going to be both things, Anthony. I think that they're gonna reserve the right to create a sold out situation prior to actually being sold out for Disneyland Park, and then in addition to that, they're going to select random days that they feel are worth more.
The thing, one more.
And just like the cast, they started doing that with the cast recently.
My
right?
last thing about that, I just want to say is that if they do go with that, where the capacity pass holder capacity is what I would call it. Pass holder capacity. If they do
It's a good
implement
term.
that, they need to communicate with parking, and parking needs to be able to have those flyers to give you. They need to know that it's open. Disneyland today needs to know that it's open or closed for pass holders.
Totally agree.
I'm just saying there has to be communication.
Oh, you're right.
Or else the nightmare, the guest relations nightmare that I mentioned earlier, will be a thing. The only way they can do it is if there's communication between parking, the people who are calling the shots on closing it for pass holders, and Disneyland today, Disneyland, all their social medias. Everybody needs to be in communication so that way pass holders can either find out through social media whether it's closed for pass holder for you or not, or they need to be told at parking when they park.
Well, it should be both. There should be an up to the minute, right, or up to the 10, 15 minute at the least.
And the app should even maybe have
app
a notification
information that says the park is now at pass holder capacity, or if there's a pass holder app. But in addition to that, yeah, they should just have it at the parking. By the way, Disneyland's now closed to pass holders. If you're a pass holder and you're parking, just let you know that it's only DCA that's open to you right now. That way they don't go get in the
Well, because
line.
the reason I bring up the notification real quick is just because I think that what if you're at DCA and you're like, okay, we're going to go over to Disneyland, but you don't know that they've gone capacity for pass holders. Why are you going to, waste your time? We all hate wasting time walking someplace to just have to turn around and come back. So that's why if you can get
mentally
some
make
sort
a
of
plan.
you can get some sort of notification. Oh, Disneyland's at capacity. Well, I'm not going to waste my time walking from Pixar Pier all the way to Disneyland when just to get turned back and have to go back to DCA or whatever the hell DCA will be called at the time.
I'm going to say most people that don't visit on a weekly basis, what they do from the time that they pay for parking or park to the time that they get off the tram is they decide what they're doing first. And if they don't know until they get to the gate what park's open or closed to them, then they've basically gotten this mental preparation for where they're going and what they're going to do and what route they're going to take, and it all goes out the window when they could have just been letting,
Exactly.
they're only open, okay, well then we're going to go do Soarin' and Screamin' and Guardians and whatever. You know what I'm saying, Diggs? Like,
Yeah.
It's that ability to prepare for what you're doing.
You mentioned PR issues. Do you think they even care anymore?
No.
I don't. Not at all.
I don't care at all.
No, right? I mean,
Because if just real quick, if they cared about guest relations, then they would not allow security to get away with everything there. I know it's always back to security. We can't be a podcast without complaining about security, especially on episode number 100. So
it's the 100th episode of the MousePIRE podcast. Was that good? You guys like that?
hey, Anthony, what's behind your belt buckle?
Wouldn't you like to know?
All right, so
Some meat.
Time to move on. And this is hopefully this is the last time we're going to bring up this subject, Phantasmic.
Hey.
Tim has a new new point of view of it now.
I'm just changing my overall. I stand by everything I said about the show. You guys have listened, but my general overall skim the surface review is not complete pile of shit anymore. It's watchable yet cringeworthy.
I agree. I agree with that assessment.
You're not going to cry no more.
No, I've worked past the tears. I will say I watched with a very good friend last Tuesday, and she was like, I watched the show, and then I also watched her, and she was like just dumbfounded at what they'd done. She couldn't believe it. But the more I've seen it, the better it is, the more palatable it is, I guess you'd say.
Hey, Anthony, did you know that Dylan decided that Phantasmic was the best on his list, and the Main Street Electrical Parade was...
I saw that.
Yeah, I think we need to give a little talk to him.
Who is this?
Our very first guest, actually.
Yeah, we'll have to talk to him and beat some sense into him.
He tried to say what?
Phantasmic was number one, and then the lowest is Main Street Electrical Parade.
According
with
to...
Paint the Night being number two, I believe.
Yeah, it was...
Him.
Wow. The new Phantasmic.
Yeah.
And Paint the Night.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's like 20.
Oh, well.
Dirty Button.
Millennials.
Exactly. Your rant about Phantasmic?
I don't really-
not the Phantasmic, but...
It's not really a rant. I just wanted to point out that we didn't talk about it because we were too busy ranting about Phantasmic. We didn't talk about the fact that they changed uniforms.
Yeah, they're not
Phantasmic.
bumblebees anymore.
They're not bumblebees anymore.
We're going to give a farewell to the retirement of the Phantasmic Bumblebee.
Yeah.
But-
Shadow loves the bumblebees.
And I was very surprised that I was actually the first one to even notice. I immediately noticed that they were not wearing the
What the
Bumblebees.
hell? Where's the Bumblebee outfit? Because sometimes you'd even see like Maynard as a Bumblebee.
Well, because I asked
right?
him, exactly. Because I asked him, I'm like, hey, do you notice they changed the uniform? And he hadn't even noticed because he was too busy trying to get in and sit down and stuff for the first one. But when I walked over for that first performance on that Saturday, I started walking. All of a sudden, I realized, hey, these guys are wearing the new uniform, and it's a really nice uniform.
I like it.
It's really cool. Which brings me to my problem is that half of them their shirts are untucked and half of them their shirts are tucked in.
Dirty.
As someone
they need
who
to create a standard of dress.
I know that there's people probably who think that's no big deal, but yes, a standard of dress. And as somebody who has worked at three different theme parks, where having your shirt tucked in is been ingrained into your mind like nothing else. That you should always look professional, and as you said, everybody should look the same. To walk along and see untucked, tucked, untucked, tucked.
Goose.
Exactly.
Inconsistency.
It just grinds into the things like right there with security, but not as angry. But it just grinds at everything that I've ever learned as all the time I've worked at theme parks. It's against it all. And especially to see it happening at Disneyland, it's just surprising. And it just, it's really,
I may have talked about this before,
pet
but
peeve.
Inconsistency breeds mistrust. People don't trust things that are not the same. When you go and it's like a complete left field for the next time, you're like, whoa, what happened? I had this experience before, and now I'm having this experience.
Which brings us back to security. Inconsistency.
Maybe that's why their shirts were untucked, because they had to go through security.
Yeah. They wanted to know what was behind their belts.
Exactly. Because you know what? That's the other thing too that I've noticed, that some of the ones some of them you can see, even though their shirts are untucked, that there are ones that don't have belts.
That's probably because they didn't get the belt.
Right. So I don't know if everybody
couldn't get into security,
or maybe they didn't get enough belts. That's why it's inconsistent.
I don't know. I'm just hoping at some point that we will see all of them tucked in at some point.
Or at least untucked.
Or at least untucked. I don't care. If they want to be untucked, that's fine. But they all need to be untucked. You can't have part of them looking, it looks annoying.
Tell them.
When I worked at Dodger
I did,
Stadium,
actually.
When I worked at Dodger Stadium, we were supposed to tuck in our shirts. I didn't tuck in my shirt.
Bad.
Ooh, rebel.
Punk rock, baby.
I'm down, man. I'm down.
And somehow you kept that job for a decade?
Yeah, but you know what?
I was making the Dodger dogs. That's why.
Ooh.
Oh, you were behind a counter then.
No invite.
But they were steamed.
Yes.
Ooh.
My favorite.
So Anthony goes with Tuck Everlasting. Got it.
I mean, I don't like tucking in, but when I worked at the...
Tuck it in.
No, I just
finally came out, Knew it. Knew it.
Where's the
Friar
red shirt?
Tuck.
Red shirt.
Damn, now I was just thinking about Jay from Clerks, too.
Oh, yeah.
And now it's time for MousePIRE's Magical Memories. Let's take a trip with the guys. Let's listen as they share their memories from their many adventures from the parks.
Yes, that's right. It is that time again. Another round of MousePIRE's Magical Memories. It was inevitable that we'd have to bring this back at least for episode 100, even though we've only had 2 of them. And the second one was when I talked about the fried chicken and nobody listened. So
I did.
I heard that one. It was kind of gross, actually.
We even changed the name of the episode to try and get more people to listen, and still didn't work. So, hey, you know what? We'll see how this goes.
Dirty McDonald's fried cart.
You should have named it, "Hey Nancy, this is the chicken one."
Pretty much.
All right, so we're going to start out with Dan the Man.
Like I said, magical memories. Kids. Go with my kids a lot. So we were there about 4 years ago. My kids were little. Hanging out in Toontown. You ever go to Toontown? Ooh,
all the time.
Yeah, when the trick-or-treating's up there.
Yeah. Well, they were playing around, and my son had asked me for popcorn, and I realized there's not really a popcorn cart in Toontown. So I had to actually exit to go out to Fantasyland and get it. And he was all excited about getting his popcorn. And he walked up to the cast member that was serving the popcorn. And he said, "We're getting popcorn. I'm going to share with my sister." And she looked at him and just gave him this big old smile. And next thing I know, she handed me 2 things of popcorn, 2 buckets of popcorn. I was like, "What? I didn't only order the one. I was gonna have him share it, the little kids." He's so cute. He can have his own popcorn. I was like, "Ah, little."
Yeah, did I gotta
special
use that.
buckets,
Yeah.
or were they?
They were just a regular container of popcorn. But to see a 4-year-old kid, his eyes light up when he was like, "That's all mine." Yeah, because he was going to be so sweet and share with his sister. So
That's
that
awesome.
sticks out in my head.
That person deserves a button that we don't do anymore.
For a mention at City Hall.
Yes. All right, up next we got Michael the Mail Guy.
Oh yeah, I'm finally black.
Yeah, whoa.
Oh, not black, but I'm back.
Hey, this is your first time in being with Magical Memories, right?
The second time.
Oh, you were at the one when I talked about the chicken.
No, the very first one.
Oh, the very first one. That's right. You were
Yes,
there.
I was. I'm
That's
old school
right,
here,
you're
actually.
Old school Magical Memories.
I mean, there's a lot, but pretty much when it comes down to it, is that this year, and I'm going to something new, is that this is the first time in the first half of the park season I didn't go on hardly any rides because I'm surrounded by nothing but great Disney friends. And I like to give props to everybody from you guys, the MousePIRE crew, everybody right here. And I didn't know you guys. You know what I mean? And you guys presented yourself to who you are. You're not fake. You didn't say, "Oh, here I am. My name is Anthony," and later on you're a dirty Anthony. You know, you're the same Anthony that I know from the beginning until
then you
now.
don't know me very well.
Well, I'm still working on that one, trust me. But
Whoa.
the fact that I met so many great people, and look, I'm part of MousePIRE and the podcast, the Disney Mafia. You know, I've known Tim for at least a good 2 years, I believe, already.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, that's way too long for us. But you know what I mean? The fact that I'm not there to enjoy the rides, I'm not there for the shows, I'm there for my Disney friends that I have met in the community. And they're the ones who bring the magic to the point where I don't have to go on no rides, and I don't care. I'm there to meet Diggs, you know, Tim if he's in there, Shadow. You know, what are you guys? If you guys show up, I'm going to visit you more than going on a ride or anything. So to my magical memory is to know that the fact that I met all you guys great people and so many all over the Disney community that, you know, that's magical every day, every time I go to the park. So thank you guys.
Love's a magical book.
Oh, yeah.
If I could have a magical memory about Michael real quick.
Whoa.
That one time, remember when
In band camp?
I don't remember what it was. We were there for something. Was it the 60th? No. I don't remember. But Michael came by, he'd hang out with us, and then he'd go off and he'd have another meet and greet, and then he'd come back with us, and then he'd leave again for another meet and greet, and he kept coming back and leaving. When was that? I don't remember. But you know what I'm talking
Was
about.
it the Star Wars one? Was it the
Well,
Star
I
Wars
listened to
together?
that episode, so it must have been
No,
further.
that was the one where, because
I'm just going to say, my memory of Michael going back and forth, I've just never seen you breathe so hard in my life.
you guys walked like, oh my, it was this one time, I'm going to give you this one. The first time I was with these guys, you know, obviously I knew they had a podcast. They walked everywhere. And I'm like, okay, we're gonna go on a ride. are we gonna stop at something to be entertained for a little bit?
Why bother?
But no, we just go prices. Okay, bye. Oh, this is new. Stop. Hold on. Check it. Pictures. New. Okay, bye. Okay. Wait. Did you see that? Oh, well, how much is that? Oh, damn, that's too much. Okay, we need to put it on a podcast. So I got to the point where I was like, you know what? Hey, Diggs, you guys want to go somewhere or go on a ride? No. Okay, bye. I'll definitely be back. But I'll give you this. If I throw a challenge besides the canoes, or they feel like, you know, they want to do me up some love, and they have gone on rides with me, and I do appreciate it. So, like I said, I can't be picky, but you guys have gone on rides, and you have been on Buzz Lightyear, so I appreciate that.
$3.
For $3.
$3.
Well, actually, 8 plus 3. Check yourself.
What's that equal, Michael?
Okay.
I have no idea.
Real quick.
Disney had my money.
There was a challenge. If Anthony was to go on Buzz, he would buy him corn dog.
Because I said straight out, I don't like Buzz Lightyear. It's a stupid ride. I would never.
You don't know what a shootout problem.
All right, so he goes on Buzz Lightyear. He goes, oh, here's your corn dog, and gives money.
It's $3.
$3.
No, I technically said this is what I have right now.
He did not say that. He just gave me money and said peace out. And it was like the scene in Friday This ain't enough.
You make it enough.
Exactly. That's what he said. Make it enough.
All right, so Anthony.
Use your Jedi mind tricks.
All right, Anthony, you have a memory for
Well,
us?
let's do the guests first. Let's do go over to Tim.
Oh man.
Yeah, put you on the spot.
My my wonderful girlfriend here that's in the other room. Hopefully she's not listening.
Don't cry.
Holding it together, man.
I wouldn't cry.
I don't know which one was first, but her and I and our friends had a trip planned to go to Walt Disney World a couple years back, and basically the trip fell apart, and she didn't think we were going anywhere, but I, without saying anything, had redirected the funds of that trip just for the two of us to go to Disneyland Paris. Kind of a shorter trip, but still we were going. Generally before that, she doesn't really fly. She hasn't flown a lot. So she's like nervous about flying. She's never been to any other Disney park, not even Florida at this point. She was like super nervous, but also excited. We flew red eye, or well, if it had been to Florida, I guess it would have been just a red eye flight. You get off in the morning, but it's basically the equivalent of
Anything
that.
to Europe is a red eye.
Basically, yeah, but it's the equivalent of a red eye to Florida or to Europe. I guess I don't remember exactly what time we arrived, but 11 a.m. something, and we went. We flew straight into Paris, a direct flight, and then you get on. There's like it's like $18 or something, and it's 9 minutes on this train to get directly to the train station at Disneyland Paris, and the train station is literally like less than 100 yards from the park. Imagine the World of Disney store, like the middle of the World of Disney store, and you go up the escalator and you exit the train, and then like security's right there. So we hadn't had our room thing, I don't think, figured out yet, but we literally went with our bags, and there's a bag check outside the park. They won't let you in with your bags, but there's a bag check out there, and they have this different scanning system for their bags in Paris, so that they put it in this like pod, or they put it through a conveyor belt and they like scan it for explosives or something.
Droids.
Anyway, so they let you for what? Drugs?
Droids.
Yeah, we were planning on traveling with droids. Yeah. Nonetheless, you take your bags, you check them in the thing, and we went straight into the park. Super excited, and we go down the Main Street section. And it looks kind of similar to here. We go down the Main Street section, and she saw the Paris Castle for the first time, and she just came in and looked at me right now. Anyway, she saw the Paris Castle for the first time and looked up, and I have a picture of her. Like at that moment, I kind of took a half cock from the side, but she's like she's tearing up. And, it was a pretty cool moment.
Cool.
Ta-da!
Cool.
I have another one, but we don't have to go. I can just do the one.
Save it for the next time.
Oh boy, that's enough.
Save it for the next time.
That one got to the feels, man.
The second one's even sappier.
No.
Anybody have a tissue?
I can't handle. Stop.
Tito.
Cry on Dig's shoulder, why don't you?
Yeah, save it for next time.
Uh-oh.
We will do this again.
Jeez.
Well, what can I say? My magical memories, I'm gonna make points. Is I get to go to Disneyland with my wife and my kid, and whenever we want, and I get to go to Trader Sam's. By the way, they have a new mug.
Oh, do they?
They do. The new Mai Tai mug. It's no longer glass. It's now ceramic, and it's pretty cool. It's only $10, and that's it's like 8 or 9 with your AP, and the Mai Tai is pretty stiff. But I mean, I'm still making memories because I get to
Or
hang
forgetting
out.
them with all that rum.
Yeah, I know. I got to meet you guys and Michael the Mail Guy too.
Yeah.
Amen.
And since we were talking about Michael, the best part is when I first met Michael, I had already met you guys, and we met in front of the castle, and he looks around, he's all, I guess nobody else is showing up. All right, let's go. So, he ended up going with us because he was waiting for his people to show up for his event. His event.
Yeah. And he had sprinkles.
And yeah, exactly. That's another memory. Eating without Anthony, a couple of times.
That was magical.
Corn dogs, corn dogs with
Funnel
Diego.
cake.
Diego.
Yes,
of course.
On my own birthday, even.
That's a winner right
Yeah,
there.
Diego, the skinny kid. Of course, he gets the turkey sandwich, while we're eating corn dogs
funnel cake
and funnel cake. Yeah, and so the memories keep on coming, and I can't even think of any, but I had to include the wife.
Of course,
because she allows me to still do this, and
Amen.
And get my drink on, get my tiki on, and get all my Haunted Mansion swag.
Yes.
that I can.
Amen.
When it's not sold out, but no, thank you guys. Dan and Tim and Lord Shadow over here. Who we can't keep him from talking. He just talks and talks and talks.
Lord Shadow of the Disney people.
And Diggs, he's cool. He always answers my phone call.
Oh, always.
And we gossip like two chicks.
Even when I'm like sleeping, I'm like, hello?
Yeah, I know.
I'll answer.
God forbid.
Those are drunk
Hey,
texts.
what are you doing calling me for 2 p.m.?
Exactly.
That's a no-no.
Exactly. So and I finally got to meet Anthony, and I'm rambling out. We got to meet your lovely partner, your lady, like Michael says, your lady.
Yes.
At Dodgers.
Yeah.
So what are we gonna next invade?
We'll talk about that later.
So my magical memory, like I said, I've had tons, and if you didn't pay attention to my Captain Eno last time, well then go listen to it. But anyways, for me and my brother, I think it was kind of fun magical memory was in the late 80s, and we used to go to TLT a lot and watch the bands, and one of our favorite bands was Voyager.
Voyager's the best Disneyland band ever.
And at Disneyland, they had two bands in the back in the day. They had a band during the afternoon. You would sit down and eat, and then they clear all the tables in the front, and then you had the nighttime band. During the ruckus, when me and my brother would just hang out and do whatever, we had the pleasure of sometimes hanging out with this goofy guy in a TV show called Saved by the Bell. And back in the day, a lot of the teenager kids that were like from Full House and on, they would hang out, and we'll see them like, the two girls from Full House, Jody, and I forgot the other Candace girl's first name, but
Candace.
Oh yeah, Cameron. That's right. There you go. So this other guy, me and my brother used to hang out with our friends at the old phone booth
Behind the
where Buzz Lightyear is.
behind where
basically.
Buzz is now.
Yeah. So we used to play on the phone in there, just hang out, call our grandma, call our mom, just to hear her,
Okay, it was we're talking without using our hands to hold the phone.
Yeah, so that was the amazing part. We're like, we don't have to hold the phone. We could fit up to 4 people in here, right? And there's air conditioning in the summertime. So one time we went in there and we see this goofy guy. Didn't really catch our eye until after we finished our phone call. He's in another booth, apparently with at that time when he said his cousins. We turn around. I told my brother about that Screech. And he turns around. Oh, yeah, it is Screech. So we come out of the booth. He's there fooling around with his cousins. And he's all, these are my cousins. They're so annoying. And he just, his voice, everything, his mannerism is as Screech. And he's laughing. He even has that, when he talks at the end. So he's making us laugh. So each time we go to Disneyland, he's always there. And he recognized us. And he's like, hey, how's it going? And just goofy him, And he was apparently goofy as he's in the show in real life. So we would just have a good time with that guy, and that's like one of my memories of just bumping into that guy each time at the phone booth and just having fun with Screech. I was hoping the other one was there, Tiffany, but
she Sweet.
Oh, it's my turn. All right. Didn't I think I said this when Nancy asked, but I'm going to talk about it anyway. One of my memories was going to Disneyland, and of course the best time to go to Disneyland is in the rain.
Yep.
Yes. And
everyone else goes home.
Exactly. But back in the day, when of course it rained on Thunder Mountain, it would be open no matter what, even when it was pouring. And I always loved to go on Thunder Mountain because the wheels on the wheels and the track just kept slipping. It would slip on the track, so it made the ride faster. It kicked your ass.
A runaway.
It kicked your ass because if you sat alone, you're like, boom, going to that, boom, hitting the sides, and you're like, my leg. But hey, let's go again. But I love to go in the rain, and I went one time with my friends. It was right after I graduated high school. When I graduated high school, I got a car. It was a 1986 Dodge Colt. Yes. So I used to pack that up with my friends, and we went down to Disneyland.
With food, of course.
Oh, yeah, we had food. But we went to Disneyland, and it was pouring rain. And I was just like, we were just, teenagers, but we're still acting like little kids and just running all over the park. And I actually went on rides during that time, Michael. I did go on rides, and I just remember just doing stuff like that, just going in the rain and being there with my friends. And, the thing about my car, of course, when it's cold, your windows get foggy. Oh, yeah. So when I'm driving on the freeway, I can't see nothing. And my friends are just like trying to wipe the windows while I go. So
been there.
Yes, I know. I remember one time with Michael, it was kind of raining, and I think we were at AM/PM. I was putting gas, and Michael's wiping my window, and it reminded me of that day too, with my friends, and I couldn't see. But yeah,
I felt your pain. And I wanted to get home safely.
So yeah, one of my best memories is being at Disneyland in the rain with my friends, just acting stupid and stuff like that. It was really, really cool. Lots of fun. And I remember one of my friends, Sam, who we found a wheelchair, and he got on the wheelchair, and we were pushing him, and we go into Space Mountain, and we go the handicap, with the wheelchair, and then he comes and he's like limping on his left foot. And then we go back again, and next time he's limping on his right foot. But yeah, it was pretty cool. And then there was also one time when he was in the wheelchair, and we were over there by Toontown, and the slope that goes down. Yeah, we just pushed him and let him go.
Let him go. Let him go.
So yeah, that's one of my magical memories.
And the jellyfish in the rain.
Disneyland in the rain. Oh yeah, with Michael. That's I love that. It was cool. I always loved going in the rain, and yeah, going in the rain is the best time.
Nobody in the park.
Yes, best time to go to Disney. All right, Anthony, what's your magical memory?
Well, I'm going to talk about one real quick that's not just for me, but it's for anybody who's there, and that's the 40th. Because I think, people may disagree with me, but out of all of the anniversaries at Disneyland, I think the 40th was probably the best one.
We got a ride, right? So.
Well, I mean, a lot of it has to do with, obviously, back then the crowds weren't as bad, so that helps things. I mean, it helps put things in perspective and make things seem better than what they were. But yeah, wait, what was the ride we got?
Indy.
Yeah.
Well, Indy opened the year before, but...
For the 40th. Yeah. 1995.
No, Indy opened in...
Let's check it out.
Was the beginning of 95?
Well, the 40th, 40 Years of Adventure was themed after Indiana Jones. The whole anniversary was.
I don't know, because I remember going when Indy opened, but I don't remember going with... I didn't go with them, so I thought we weren't hanging out yet, so...
That was, it was, well, I was Pizza Hut when I almost got fired for going to get the cards. And that was Indy. Indy had the soft opening.
Oh, okay.
March of 95.
And I was going to say yes, because that's the year Stewart was born, so I remember that year.
That was the year that I graduated.
March of 95, that's why, because I hadn't started working. I had just started working at Pizza Hut, so we weren't doing stuff yet.
Whoa.
Hey. So, yeah, the 40th, like I said, there's a lot of things like, well, yeah, so Indy, and then let's just talk about cake. Because who all was there besides Dig, Shadow, and I? Because we were all there together. So, but who else? Anybody else was at the 40th?
Just you fossils.
Just us fossils? No, nobody? All right.
Partying.
Whatever.
I wasn't old enough.
Aw. What about you, old man? No? You were at Dodger Stadium? All right, so cake. They had cake stations. The 60th. I don't remember how they did it for the 50th. Was there cake at the 50th?
No. Cupcakes. They had
So it's the same as the 60th.
Cupcake stations.
No, they had cupcakes at food places. You had to go get the food and get your cupcake at the food
So that's
place.
even worse than what they did for the 60th
Yeah.
then. Okay, because at the 40th, you didn't have to go through all that. They just had tables set up with actual pieces of cake. Like actual, they had sheet cakes at the tables. There wasn't no cupcakes or none of that crap. Actual sheet cakes were at the tables, and you go up and you just keep getting pieces of cake.
How much cake did you eat, Anthony?
We ate a lot of cake because they had cake stations. It was like almost like Halloween. Yeah. because they had cake stations all over the park.
Every 10 steps, like the trash cans?
Yes.
Maybe at least every 2 trash cans.
The trash cans are with 19 steps, right?
So they had cake tables set up all over. So we just went from cake table to cake table to cake table to cake table.
Were you recognized?
I think there was
No, because there was different tables.
No, because it was all different cake tables.
Hey,
we just walked around the whole park.
By the time we got to the next one, we were done with the other.
Exactly.
Yeah, because
Like a
I
hot
believe,
dog.
Well, I remember going into Tomorrowland, at the beginning of Tomorrowland, and then at the end of Tomorrowland.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I think that was the first. There wasn't any cake stations, I think, on Main Street.
There
And I
was-
think
there-
the first one we went to was the one in Tomorrowland.
I have
There
a
was one
question.
by City Hall.
Oh, was there one by
That's
City?
where we took the last one.
Oh, okay, yeah.
How many cake stations before you needed a restroom?
I can't remember.
He can't remember going to the restroom last week, much less that long ago, 20 years ago, but he's thinking about
I
it.
don't go to the bathroom.
It was a presumptive question.
That's a big word.
And then the other thing that was cool was the party hats. We got
Yes,
party hats,
I still have mine.
which I don't think they didn't do. Did they have party hats at the 50th? I don't remember. So yeah, so once again, no party hats at the 50th or 60th, but we had party hats at the 40th, and I just remember that being a really good day. It's just like probably the last. It was obviously the last anniversary that had any kind of where it wasn't like crazy, stupid, busy, and I mean,
Very cool time capsule.
Oh yeah! Oh, the time capsule. Yes, I want to. Let's talk about the time capsule because anybody who's been in front of the castle has seen that big square in the ground with the plaque that says time capsule. Well, we were there, and that was put into the ground, and for the 40th, and it's no joke. It's a literal castle because when we got there, it's sitting up on top
Yeah.
for the big ceremony, and we actually saw it get lowered down, right? And it was just a big. What was it made out of? Do you remember?
No.
Was it metal or
It looked metal.
it was painted though, right? Or was it just plain metal?
I can't.
I don't
It's
remember.
wild.
It was a really cool, and the lid came off of it, and they had they put a bunch of Disney memorabilia in there. I think there's a list somewhere of everything.
There is. There's like newspapers.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's a big
newspapers
list.
and the stuff from the beginning.
that year.
Mouseketeer costumes and stuff from later on, but then they actually put the lid back on, and then they took it and they dropped it into the ground, and then they put the thing that you see there now on there, right there in front of us with the ceremony.
The time capsule's awesome. I mean, as long as I get to, well, I say two things. As long as I live to see the time capsule come out, I'll have accomplished one. And then if I live to see Disneyland's 100th birthday, then I guess at that point I feel like I can die.
I already committed to being in the opening of that time capsule.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not really that long because
No, it's not.
it's
just past the Olympics.
it's set to be opened at the 80th.
19 years from now.
So it was because it was the 40th and it was supposed to be double. So it was the
18
80th.
years.
And we're already, it's only 18 years from now.
I was just
So
trying to figure out how old I was
It's
gonna
just
be.
really it's really weird to think about the fact that we were there and it was supposed to be 40 years and now it's only 18 years from now. It just makes us feel really old.
Well, do you think that at that point on the 80th that they'll do another one to the 160th?
Well, I mean, they're already going to have the hole in the ground.
No, by
That's what
that
I mean.
time we'll be in the ocean. So, well, it's not fun. Hey, you guys mind if I wrap this segment up because much like Tower of Terror, I have to do the final checkout.
Oh,
Bye.
Got to get going.
Can I just ask him how was security for the 40th?
There
They
was
check your
none.
belt buckle?
No, they did not.
Hey, anyway, like I was saying, I got to do the final checkout. I got to hit back to reality and the whole work thing.
Wait, so you were last one to hear? You're going to be the first one to leave?
Yeah, that's the way that it is sometimes. But hey, I got to echo your sentiment over there as far as what's going on here. I actually did meet these guys honestly at the beginning of the year. It was January 2nd. It was the first day I got back into the pass after the Christmas holidays, and just kind of met them and said hey, and then just everything kind of just fell into place. Called it the summer of MousePIRE. I've been hanging out most of the summer, like weekly, just kind of doing what we do, and it's been a lot of fun. Made a bunch of memories just clowning in the park. It's kind of nice to go to the park and, like you said, hey, I run into my friend over here, and it's kind of cool just to hang out. And then I've been the same thing where I've been like, hey, I'm going to go over to the west side for a little bit. I'll catch up with you guys later, and it's not a big issue. It's everybody's just here is just who they are, and that's cool. I feel like I can totally just be who I am and make the stupid jokes and all that kind of stuff, and it's been a real magical summer, guys. So thank you very much.
Keep going. Keep going.
Can I have a
Even with Michael.
back rub before you go?
No, I don't. She's in the other room. Dan says bye.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye.
Thanks for coming. Well, it looks like that wraps up MousePIRE's Magical Memories, and we will have more on a future episode. Don't know when.
If you guys have any memories of your own that either go along with ours or just ones of your own or anything that aren't related to ours, definitely let us know, and we can have a little mini MousePIRE Magical Memories email.
What's the email, Anthony?
It is mousepire@gmail.com.
I mean, if the story's good and there's proper use of punctuation, I think we should be able to read it on the air, right?
Don't hold your breath.
Okay. I'd be happy to read somebody's magical memory on the air as long as they use proper punctuation and can spell.
All right, so we got news just the other day that we're getting some the not VR, but the because we've talked about in the past how Bob Iger has made the distinction that he doesn't want to do VR.
Thank God.
But he wants to do the other R's, which one of them is hyperreality. And we're going to be getting a hyperreality Star Wars experience this holidays, because nothing says holidays like Star Wars and some R.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I don't know.
Life is dark.
I don't know what this is going to be called. Star Wars Secrets of the Empire. It is going to be coming to both parks, right? Coming to Florida too?
Yes, Disney Springs as well.
Yes. Oh, it's going to be at Disney Springs. So yes, it is coming to Downtown Disney and Disney Springs. Holiday season. We don't know what they mean. Does that mean? I don't know if that means it's going to be coming second week in November when holidays start, or if it's going to be in December sometime. I would bet it's probably going to be more timed for the release of The Last Jedi. So maybe
makes sense.
First week of December or second week of December, something like that. Depends on how long they're going to have it for. Really,
holiday season though could mean any time from
that's what I mean.
Beginning
Anytime
of November,
right? Beginning the middle of November to all the way to December sometimes. So we've talked about before the creation of the ILM X Lab, which is the Lucasfilm arm of doing all the R's. I forget what that other R is. There's the virtual reality, the hyper reality, and then there was that other one that I keep forgetting that Iger was the one he was interested in. It's the one that I believe that they're going to be using for the First Order, the battle ride.
Immersive reality?
Yes, that's it. Immersive reality. The IR. Yes, that's it. Thank you.
Good job.
Tim. Yes. IR is the one that Bob Iger, he kept saying over and over again, I want IR, not VR. Because virtual reality, we've talked about this before, takes you completely out of your environment and into a brand new environment. IR, immersive reality, keeps you in your environment, but gives you almost like a heads-up display, sort of. It takes you into two different realities at the same time. So this is a third type of reality, of course. This is hyper-reality. I don't really know what that means.
Means you can move around within the.
I don't know if this is going to be. A lot of people are saying that this is going to be kind of like the Knots thing. Have you heard that?
No, I haven't heard that.
Okay.
What is the Knots thing?
The new virtual reality. You're in the Calico Ghost Town, and you're shooting. And it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it like a standard attraction?
It's
with a wait.
No, it's like laser tag. You go in there.
You pay for it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, this just says it'll allow fans to move freely in an untethered, social, and multi-sensory experience, including interaction with friends, fans, and Star Wars characters.
Untethered. It's an interesting statement.
Yeah, that means so I'm not going to be tied up to somebody or something, which is always good. You don't want to be tied up unless you ask for it. But
I think that means just you get to move around within a certain...
Right, which is why I think there's been comparisons made to the Ghost Town thing because of the fact that you can move around, even though they specifically call that VR, though, right? So, I don't know. But it does say it will combine the magic of illusions, advanced technology, and virtual reality to create fully immersive social experiences that take guests to new worlds. So, I don't know if you take from that sentence that hyper-reality is a combination of immersive reality and virtual reality. So, yeah, that's where you get hyper.
I want to get hyper.
Okay.
Hyperspace Mountain.
Whoa. Maybe they're just calling it Hyper because they want to have the connection between Hyperspace Mountain.
Maybe.
Or because it's Star Wars related. So where do you think they're going to stick this thing if it's in downtown Disney?
Well, I say that over there in the by the old valet where they had the cars thing.
Right in front of security.
Right. It's the only thing I could figure because, I mean, unless they want to tear down walls, they can't bring anything into downtown Disney that's a huge structure. So
I say, I just thought of this, that it'll be similar or in place of the skating rink. So that the space that would be used for a skating rink could also be set up with like walls, and then you.
There's not enough room there now.
Why not?
It's so
because
funneling into security right there.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's where
it'd be the
security
same thing. They'd rather have it on the outside of security where the guests are going away from it than have it inside of security where the guests would be going towards it.
I mean, last year they could have had it in front of where the House of Blues was.
Well, yeah, last year they could have had it where the skating rink was. They could have also put the cars thing there, and they could have also put those the lunch trucks when the lunch trucks were here. They could have put those there, but all that stuff, you can't do any of that stuff now that they've put up fences and security, so you can't bring anything into downtown Disney. So the only thing I can think of is putting it where the cars thing was there in the old valet. So, I mean, unless they do want to, unless it's going to be there for a while and it's a little bit more going to be more permanent for a little while, then they might then pull back the fences and let it in. But
well, I mean,
I just don't see them doing that.
They could move that security checkpoint as far out as they want.
I don't think they're going to move it at all.
No.
I mean, it's semi-permanent, right?
Not like Universal, but as permanent as Disneyland's probably going to get.
That's all I'm thinking, is that they could move it out if it's something they want to incorporate inside, you know.
All I know is it sounds pretty cool. We'll definitely, as more information about this comes up, we will let you guys know.
Does it say it's an additional cost experience?
It does not say anything.
Well, it's in downtown Disney, so it'd have to be, right?
Right.
It's not a park, not an in-park thing.
Yeah, ain't nothing free in downtown Disney.
All right, so today, actually, we got the announcement out of the third quarter earnings call from Bob Iger that starting in 2019, Disney is, at least as far as the animated features and animated TV shows, they are pulling out of Netflix. Their agreement with Netflix effective first quarter of 2019, and they will be starting their own streaming service that is basically going to sound very much like Boomerang, which I talked about a couple months ago or so, that the one that the Warner Brothers is doing for all of its Looney Tunes and Hanna-Barbera catalog, that Disney will be starting their own streaming service because, of course, everybody is going to is starting their own streaming service.
I heard Shadow has a streaming service.
He's going to stream the darkness.
DC's.
I don't know if he has enough bandwidth for that.
The only streaming service that I'm a little iffy on, but yet I feel like we're going to have to figure out a subscription is the new CBS
for Star Wars,
for Star Trek.
Yeah, I agree.
Maybe we could just all share one.
I have no problem with that. I'd get it and then share it with everybody. All right, so they did announce that they were going to be, we told you guys a few months ago about the acquisition of BAMTech. What was the original thing that we were talking about with BAMTech? What was the connection with that we thought it meant? I mean, we thought that it was setting up for them to get their own streaming service, right? Is that what we were?
I think so.
We were just, because they are a streaming technologies company. They are going to be spending $1.58 billion to increase their share in BAMTech from 33% to 75%. That will give Disney complete control of the company to basically turn it into D-Tech. I don't know. It's certainly better than Disflix. I'd rather have D-Tech. D-Tech is that's
D-Tech is the cell phone.
I know that's the. Okay, well they'll BAM Disney. I don't know.
What is BAMTech? I'm lost.
I don't really know.
I mean, can you tell me at all what it is? Does anyone know?
Basically, like I said, they're a streaming technology company. They're going to give Disney the capability to do their own streaming service. Well, Diggs is chiming in with some breaking info.
All right, so BAMTech is actually the company that powers streaming for MLB, HBO, NHL, WWE, and now Disney and ESPN. So
some high streaming.
They're the ones that power the streaming for those companies to do it.
Nice.
And speaking of ESPN, that was the other news that not only will we be getting a Disney animation streaming service in 2019, in 2018, preceding that as probably the big test, they will be doing a specifically ESPN streaming service that will include Major League Baseball. Wait, hold on. Yeah, Major League Baseball, National Hockey League, Major League Soccer, Grand Slam tennis, and college sports. There will also be individual sports packages available for purchase, including MLB TV, NHL TV, and MLS Live.
I want to call this their last-ditch effort.
To save ESPN?
Yeah.
It is, because, I mean, at this point, they're going to have, I think, they're going to have it says 10,000 live regional, national, international games events a year, and it will include not only stuff that's that you would have been able to see on ESPN itself, but it will include stuff that never shows on ESPN, that doesn't even show on ESPN3. There is no word at this time, and they will announce what their decision is later, how Lucasfilm properties and Marvel properties will be involved in this, whether they will become their own streaming service at some point, or whether they will be left into that. Also, the deals with Netflix as far as like the Marvel TV shows, such as Daredevil and Punisher and everything, those deals are in place for a while.
Netflix series.
So so at whatever point happens, if they do decide to move lock, stock, and barrel over to the Disney streaming service, everything, they will just end those shows, and then they will start new shows, is what would probably happen. Just like next year, Warner Brothers CW will be having an app that's coming out next year that will have because of course right now Hulu, besides CBS, the aforementioned CBS, CW is the only other station that does not have a deal with Hulu.
CBS and CW have a connection, right?
Well, the C in CW is CBS.
Right.
Was CBS originally. I don't know how much they're still involved with CW.
I know.
But it was a partnership between Warner Brothers and CBS to create CW. They're going to be starting their own streaming service next year, which explained that why just this month all of the Justice League animateds, Young Justice, all of that stuff disappeared off of Netflix this month. And originally, the announced third season of Young Justice was supposed to be on Netflix, but now it's going to be waiting. It's going to go on to the CW streaming app. So,
Bastards.
Yeah, so basically the same thing is going to end up happening with Disney with their new streaming app, that they're just going to move all their stuff over there. But we'll see how they deal with Marvel and Lucasfilm at whatever point they decide to announce on that.
You know, we could have a lot more cool stuff if it wasn't for these greedy bastards.
Yeah, well, that's beside the point.
Indeed.
All right, so we told you guys a couple weeks ago that they were deciding on the Olympics and that we had a pretty good chance of getting either the 2024 or the 2028 Olympics here in L.A., California, or wherever. Well, we didn't get the one I wanted. Because I really wanted that 2024, because it would have really been nice to have been the 40th anniversary of the 84 Olympics. Because, I mean, even the youngest one of us here has to have some memory of the 84 Olympics. And
yeah, I do.
Oh, wait, you're younger than him? But we got the 2028 and their first announcement of that indoor volleyball will be played at the Honda Center. I don't know if you guys saw that.
No.
They announced that indoor volleyball will be played at the Honda Center.
We have a lot of indoor volleyball fans here.
I'm
just girls volleyball.
I was gonna say girl, yes.
I don't know why that announcement specifically was made, unless the Honda Center just automatically said, "Okay, well, we'll do that one," and then they were like, "Okay." And apparently nobody else has signed up for anything or announced that they'll do anything else. You have to assume at some point baseball will be probably at Dodger Stadium, but then again, who knows? Maybe they'll take themselves down a notch and go over to Anaheim for that too.
Will the stadium even be there in a decade? The other question.
Yeah, a lot.
Dan could probably tell us, but he dipped out.
Yeah, a lot could happen in the next freaking 11 years, so really have no way of even looking ahead to 2028. I mean, by then we're going to be on like Star Wars Episode 15 and Phase 5 of the Marvel. And
Do you think that the reason that they didn't give us 2024 is because they were worried about LA's ability to have stadiums ready? Because we're right now we're in the middle of building 2 stadiums as opposed to.
That should be done in 2020.
Should be.
But still, if it's not done in 2020, it'd be 21.
We're not Brazil.
Yeah,
well, that's what they're worried because of the Brazilian.
We're not Qatar.
They already said that we have enough space to handle the Olympics and all the,
The infrastructure's already there.
Right.
Except for the freeways.
Well, and the exits, and the streets.
But you know what? The thing that they did that really well in '84, which they'll have to do now because it's even worse than '84, was they tried to stay on the peripherals of LA, where everything was in the suburbs.
No, they're spreading it out now.
Well, they're going to have to spread it out even more than what they did in '84. So I mean, you're not even probably not even going to be even be able to have the gymnastics in '84 were at Poly Pavilion at UCLA. But there's no way you're probably able to do that now. You're not going to be able to have that's why I said that they'd probably have it at Angel Stadium because you're not going to want to have that traffic in downtown LA for the baseball.
Is baseball back in the Olympics? I thought.
I don't know. I was just using it as an example.
Oh, okay.
Softball is.
Yeah, I was going to say softball is coming back.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Who knows? Baseball might come back by 2028.
Right. All right. So we have to mention the passing of Martin Marty Sklar, who passed away on July 27th. Very, very sad day in the Disney community. An awesome Disney legend. He was the former chairman and principal creative executive of Walt Disney Imagineering. And Anthony and I were fortunate enough to go and see a panel that had Marty on there and other Disney legends. It was a D23 panel that was celebrating the actual public opening day of Disneyland, which was we went to that on July 18th, 2015. So that was really cool to go see that panel. And yeah, I mean, there's so many people that I've seen that actually met him, took pictures with him, and I never got to do that. The only person I can say that I actually took a picture of was Roy Disney Jr. All right, so other than that, I've never actually got to meet any, or haven't been able to meet any Disney legends. But to be at that panel was awesome, and just to hear the stories that they were telling about making Disneyland, and just everything was just, it was just so cool to be, to be at, and just to be able to be there and hear all the problems they had with opening day, which was the press day, and just to hear other things that went on that we never knew about since we weren't born yet. And yeah, I mean, it just, and the other thing was really cool was, yeah, Shadow was there, but the one thing that was really cool was to see Marty and all the other Disney legends on the panel acting like little kids.
Who else was on the panel, Dix?
I don't remember right now. I know
Tony Baxter. Wasn't he there?
No, Tony wasn't there.
Bob Gurr.
Bob, I'm sure.
Bob was there. There was the guy who played Tom Sawyer.
He was
and
the first Tom Sawyer.
Yeah, he was the guy who was actual Tom Sawyer. He actually started outside Disney selling maps.
There was this other woman that I forget what
her
exact position was, but she had a hand in the creation of the plaza in its original form. Designing it. The designing of the plaza.
But I mean, I don't remember all those people. We talked about it 2 years ago. You guys can go listen to that podcast.
That was actually the very first episode.
Was it?
Yeah.
Well, there you go. See, he remembers that. I don't. But I just think it's cool when you see these older men just ragging on each other. It reminds me of watching the grumpy old men.
I just watched that.
Yes. So then how they mess with each other. Well, same thing with these guys who just sitting there and they're just ragging on each other. It's just so cool. But yeah, Marty Sklar did pass away on July 27th. Sad day.
The thing about those people, real quick, I just want to say that the thing that brings most important to me is that knowing that those people, they knew Walt.
Yes.
They walked in Walt's footsteps. They walked beside Walt. They spoke to Walt. They got their guidance from Walt. They learned everything from Walt. To me, that brings there's few people that can say that, and those people are the people that can. There's so much talk nowadays about, oh, Walt wouldn't want that. Walt wouldn't want that. Walt would be turning in his cubicle and his grave and whatever
Under the castle.
Yeah, under the castle. And
if anybody's going to carry on Walt's vision, it's going to be these guys that knew him, worked beside him.
Exactly, that's what I mean. It's like, just, they're the ones who know. Pretty soon those people are going to be gone. There's going to be nobody that really knows. I mean, so the best thing to do is and whenever you get a chance to go to one of these panels, the last day, the Sunday of this last D23, they had another one of those Legends panels.
Right.
Where the Imagineers Legends panels, and yeah, he was there. It was probably his last one, at least probably had to be one of his last public appearances.
I think it was his last.
And anybody that was in that panel has to have that memory with them forever, that they were there for the last time, one of the last times that he got to talk about doing stuff with Walt and Walt's vision and, all of those people. And
that panel's is online, right?
I believe so. It should be.
Now I have extra reason to watch it.
I mean, if there's not a good quality one, I mean, I'm sure people videotaped it. It's on YouTube. So.
If there's anyone listening that was in the Legends panel and would like to share your information with us, please write us at
MousePIRE@gmail.com.
There you go.
And then one other one, and it's one that really, really hits me right here, and just because I don't know if there's a single person that can say that they don't know, or if they don't know who June Foray is, they've heard her voice. Not knowing that it was her, but you've heard her voice. If you have never heard June Foray's voice, then you had no childhood. I'm just going to say that straight out, because if you didn't hear a cartoon that had June Foray in it, then you did not watch cartoons, and you had a boring life, because Rocky and Bullwinkle, she was Rocky. But just to keep it with Disney, because I can go on for a long time about June Foray and how amazing she was Hazel the Witch in the Donald Duck cartoon with the witch, which of course went on, and they just switched it around, and she became Witch Hazel and with Bugs Bunny, but it was basically the same character. And then she was also Lucifer, the cat, in Cinderella.
Nice.
Which went many, many years as being an uncredited performance to her, because a lot of her performances with Disney actually went uncredited, because she would just pop into the studio and record voices. Because, like, for example, she was also a mermaid and one of the squaws in Peter Pan. And so many of her voices have gone uncredited, and there's just people that are just now finally discovering that, oh, that was June Foray, where obviously there was so many other characters that she also voiced. I believe there's she's also was one of the older what was the older Lady Duck, I don't remember, in one of the Donald shorts or something. But yeah, I mean, so many things. It's just I mean, not as much for Disney as, say, like Warner Brothers or anything like that, but I mean, I couldn't not mention her, just because she's, everybody's been touched by her. All right, well, that's going to bring us basically almost to the end of our 100th episode extravaganza.
Yeah, food time.
Yeah. All right.
We ate. We talked. We conquered.
We kicked ass. Whoa.
Fernando made love. Where were we?
I don't
so
know.
Let it be written and let it be done.
But we've got stuff left, right? We're not going to go and buy yet,
yes,
kids.
Of course. That was time for the mail. And, of course, we got Michael the mail guy here, so we will get a live mail from him. But first, we have mail from the interwebs.
That's what I'm wondering, because on the last episode, as we've done a couple times on this episode, we've encouraged people to write in and share their thoughts. Diggs, did anyone do this?
I don't know.
How do you not know?
All right, so our first email comes from Victoria, and her subject line is Happy 2nd Anniversary. She says, okay, gents, what are you going to eat in the park to celebrate this amazing feat of your 2nd anniversary and the 100th episode? Well, I don't know about what we're eating in the park, but if you're listening, you know that we've been munching on nachos and strawberries and donuts right now. So let's see. She goes on to say,
I just had some hummus. I didn't even know it was there.
Me neither.
In the park, though, I mean, next up is going to have to be these MSCP treats, right?
I guess so.
Yeah.
I still want to try that tart over at Hungry Bear.
That's a good. Yeah.
You're a tart.
I'm going to try
Thank you.
that.
All right, she goes on to say, I go with the sour watermelon churro because I want to know if it is as nasty as it sounds.
No, I tried that too. You guys tried it, right?
I did. I loved it.
I don't like
I thought it
watermelon.
was good. Elizabeth and she was not having it, and I said, let's try this, and we both liked it.
She says, congrats, and I can't wait to hear your take on this year's Halloween party. It better be worth $100, Victoria. Well, I don't know about it being worth $100, but we're going to try to get over there.
I don't even know about it being worth $75, but we'll see.
Yeah.
They're going to end up being sold out before I find the money for that.
The problem I have is that as much as I recognize that this year's Halloween party might be the last chance for a long time that we get to see a Halloween party in Disneyland Park, we're kind of broke. It's hard to come up with a couple $100
especially when they just keep raising prices on stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to justify paying for that plus paying, how much we pay for passes. And then especially if they're going to end up forcing us basically to all of us that can to go up to Signature Pluses by creating more blackout dates.
Right.
Because at some point, if what happened, if what we were talking about earlier happens, then anybody who wants to be at Galaxy's Edge is going to have to upgrade.
True. But realistically, if we get the Max Pass thing for free, that might be like a limited time offer, kind of like the way with the Signature that we got the Fast Pass, the Photo Pass with the Signature for a while, and then they're taking it away, but it's only grandfathered in now, right?
Yes.
So it's not a new offering. Maybe we need to switch to get the Max Pass on the Signature Plus, and then it'll be grandfathered.
Because then Diggs will become his own grandfather. And
All right, yeah, I will be. All right, so next we have our next email. I'm going to leave it to a surprise, or maybe you can get it while I'm reading it. But the subject line is Happy 100th Episode, and it starts with a big howdy, gents, into our noble and valiant leader, Shadow.
What?
I just wanted to congratulate all of you on your huge milestone and wish you all a 1,000 more. Sorry I have been out of touch for the bulk of the year. I decided to start a partnership with a civil engineering firm that is headquartered in Buenos Aires, Argentina. So let me just say, work has been booming. I am back home in Arizona for the rest of the year and ready to relax. I am just glad I caught your 99th episode today so I can send you in this email for the big show. Hope all is well with you all and the best wishes to all of your success. Any guesses?
Jake from State Farm.
Jake from State Farm.
As soon as he said about being out of the country, I knew he was Jake from State Farm.
Is this, you're going to have to.
I'm glad he's still alive.
He's basically our first anonymous emailer. He's Michael before there was Michael.
He was emailing us all our episodes in the beginning.
Yeah,
and he calls himself Jake from State Farm.
No, I started calling him that.
We give people names.
Oh, okay.
Remember that. You're Jim Chicka Fresh.
Right.
And he's Fernando Xavier Hubbard because he just has that awesome name.
Yeah, the only one that doesn't have a name is Nancy.
Fancy Nancy.
Oh, yeah, I guess.
Fancy.
Right, so thank you, Jake from State Farm.
And welcome back.
Yes, nice to hear from you again.
Good timing.
It's been a long time.
Hey, now.
All right, next email is from Commander Cody. Happy 100th episode. Hello, MousePIRE. Commander Cody reporting in with a long email. And in the theme of Maui, you're welcome. He says, it's been a few weeks since I've sent in an email, but I have a good reason. At the beginning of July, I went on a 2-week vacation to the Philippines. And since returning home between being busy and work and celebrating my birthday, I have been quite busy. Well, happy birthday. But I do have some exciting Disney news to share. On our way to the Philippines, we had about an 18-hour overlay in Tokyo, Japan, that is. So naturally, with the Tokyo Disneyland Resort being a mere 30-minute drive from the airport, We decided to make the most of our layover. We went to Tokyo Disneyland. Here are some pictures to prove it.
That's what I would have done.
And there he goes with the maps and tickets. Ooh, look, there he is in front of the castle.
Nice.
I don't know you.
I don't know that guy.
I don't know you, but you did exactly what I would have done.
That's awesome.
Because we haven't met him, right?
No, we haven't met Cody
I
yet.
didn't think so.
Well, if we do, hopefully we get some park maps.
Yeah. You need to talk to Elizabeth. She's got the horde.
Oh, snow.
All right. He goes on to say we got to spend about 10 hours in the park. In between flights, we rode Haunted Mansion, Big Thunder Railroad, Pirates of the Caribbean. We also watched a parade and the Country Bear Jamboree show in Japanese. It doesn't sound like much, and I suppose it wasn't. First of all, let me stop you there because it was a lot. And that's pretty cool just to be there. It doesn't matter, if you didn't get to do everything there. Hey, you got to go and chill there for a while. That's awesome. But the lines moved so slow. The line for Space Mountain said it was 50-minute wait. So we waited 50 minutes later, and we were still waiting outside of the attraction building. So we gave up and went to find some food. Awesome. We ended up eating at a counter-service restaurant that was themed to Alice in Wonderland, and it was so cool. The theming for this restaurant was unlike anything I've ever seen in Anaheim.
That's where they sell the Cheshire Cat sippers.
Those are nice.
We have one here.
Cool. We had a good time, but notice that the attractions we rode were extremely similar, if not identical, to those in Anaheim. There was a library scene added to the Haunted Mansion, and Big Thunder Railroad started underground and then rode through the abandoned mine shaft. The queue for Big Thunder Mountain Railroad was also very well done. Moving on, this past week I've been catching up on all of your July episodes. I really enjoy having Dan the Man and Tim Chugga Chugga Fresh on the show. Having some more people makes the show fun. Was wondering if any of the MousePIRE gang watches Once Upon a Time. A while back, it was announced that several of the main stars of the show would not be continuing to Season 7. Just recently, a teaser trailer for Season 7 was released. If any of you know the storyline of Once Upon a Time, how do you feel about the direction that they are taking the show since these main characters have left? Actually, Shadows was kind of watching it there for a while.
We even talked about it on the podcast a few times at the beginning, but
yes,
then
we did.
There wasn't really nobody that was watching it, so
Besides
we just
me.
kind of stopped. But I do know that they're supposedly doing a reboot, basically, back to kind of retell back to the beginning, but with different characters. Is that how I'm interpreting what everybody's talking about the trailer for the next season?
That kind of is, but everybody's just really pissed, and even I am, because if you follow it from the beginning, like myself, every character where we had just embedded with. Do it again? No. With Once Upon a Time, it's a real good series, and I watched all of them except the very last one right before we got the announcement saying that a majority of the characters are going to be changing. I really disappointed because with all the characters that we've already through all the way to six seasons, that they feel that they should stay. But obviously, it's done. I think it's overstayed their welcome. I think they should have just canceled it or come with a new theme with new characters. But I think they might take that route, as you said, Anthony. But I'm not really looking forward to this one.
Well, because it seems like, I guess, who's the main main person? Like everything was revolving around at the beginning.
It's the girl.
The girl.
Yeah.
Snow White, right?
You're right. No, not Snow White.
Emma.
Emma
And her son.
And I think what they're doing is they're doing a reboot where they're gonna start telling the whole story again, but Emma's gonna be like a different character, is from what I hear.
Wow.
Yeah, that's like I said. When I heard that news, me and my wife, we watch it all, and we still, like I said, have to catch up to the last episode. But it kind of was like fading away if you really watch it. So I thought like they should have just ended it. Everybody's back to normal or whatever the situation was, and done deal. But I can tell you, not a lot of people are happy, and I don't really know how I'm going to continue watching this.
I think it's got to be getting towards the end. I mean, that and like S.H.I.E.L.D. and stuff, this is going to be probably its last seasons, unless they want to move those things over to Freeform.
Right.
Pretty much.
All right, so he goes on to say, and again, congratulations to the MousePIRE podcast on their 100th episode. Yay!
Thanks, man.
Look it out.
Woo.
I would just like to say that Fancy Nancy is not the only one who has listened to every episode. Commander Cody has too.
Fernando's raising his.
I know. I wait for him. Let me finish this.
Diggs is also in every episode too.
Give credit where credit is due. Commander Cody signing out. So yeah, Fernando did tell me, hey, I've listened to every episode too. So yeah, that's pretty cool.
Maybe people have listened to every episode. Maybe you should get a button.
Well, where's my button?
Special button for some people who have listened to every episode.
We could do that.
You'd have to do like a test though.
Right.
Well, I mean, I believe Commander Cody has.
I mean, nobody's going to admit to listening to every episode. Just get a button. So
yeah,
unfortunately, I did, and I don't want a button.
So let's ask Fernando.
I mean, Fernando's already admitted. So,
Fernando, do you think also after listening to all of them that having Tim here is a lot better?
No comment.
Okay.
All right. Well, Commander Cody, thank you for your email. Appreciate that. All right. Our next email is from Fancy Nancy.
Well then.
Her subject line was, is it too late? All right, so she says, what's everyone's favorite MousePIRE episode? After 100 episodes, what's the most surprising thing about having a podcast?
I'm going to say for me, the first one is our first one. Because there was actually no outtakes.
Yes, the first one ran pretty smooth. My editing was like...
non-existent?
Yes, basically. So it ran smooth. But after that, then I had to take time on editing. What's most surprising about having a podcast?
That we needed to get Tim on the podcast apparently to get 1,000 listeners in the first week.
Wow, really?
Yeah, the only episode we've ever had to get 1,000 listeners in the first few days was yours.
I don't think it's because you were on there, but anyway.
Hey, listen,
I don't know. That's the only difference about that episode. I don't know why else it would have had 1,000, but
did weeks after have 1,000?
No.
Oh.
The one after that was really bad.
Yes.
Maybe they realized they don't like me.
And I don't want to know.
No, because last week was we're like, I don't know, 500 or 6, I don't know.
Again, yeah.
Yeah, so.
Well, I mean, I'm just going to have to take credit somehow. I'm good and bad.
Did you promote it?
There. I did.
How many times?
6,
Probably
7 maybe.
I'll give you that one.
Probably not as many as you do. And definitely not as much as you promote yourself.
Let's not talk.
All right, so most surprising, I would say, is when you're walking in the park or you're walking in the parking lot and someone says, MousePIRE, because I don't really expect that. I expect people to notice me and shadow from our other Facebook page, the SoCal page. But when someone says, MousePIRE, you're just like, what?
That is pretty cool because, I mean, we used to get always, hey, you guys are those SoCal guys, right?
Yeah, they don't know the rest of the name.
They to be recognized more for MousePIRE than the SoCal is something that I never really expected, especially considering how many more people follow the SoCal and all that than actually listen to the podcast. It's good.
How many people follow the SoCal page?
Over 14,000.
I got recognized when I was getting my tater tots in Tomorrowland. Aren't you those guys from MousePIRE and SoCal? I'm like, yes, I am.
When I first met you guys, I was like, hey, hot dog eaters.
Yes, he did.
That's a good
By
one.
the way, I got a free water.
We didn't hear from our guests' favorite episodes.
The day that I actually recorded, I didn't show up, but I made my own little segment.
I like that
and
one. I like that.
And I was supposed to do it for this one, but like I said, my daughter, and that's my daily job now, so there's no possibility. But there will be one coming soon from the Rebel Base.
Mine was the first time I heard my name on there.
Oh, yes.
And hearing the stories about somebody being put in jail at Disneyland.
That's my second favorite one.
The chicken one.
Which episode is that?
MousePIRE's Memories.
Magical Memories.
Yeah.
The one with the jail, yeah.
Nancy's chicken story.
Nancy's chicken story.
You guys have memories of the old Disneyland jail? The one with the table, chair, one chair, and just small white room with one picture of Mickey Mouse crying?
I don't remember Mickey Mouse being in that room, and there was no tables. There was just benches.
And Diggs dancing.
Yes, to the camera.
You danced to the camera?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you gotta listen to that.
They put me in a room one time with was literally one table, one chair, and one picture on the wall with
And a phone book.
That was the
with Mickey crying on the
was-
photo.
That was probably the
interrogation
yeah,
room or something.
Yeah, that's where I went into when the cops came.
Yeah. When I looked up, I mean, Mickey is like sobbing and tears are flying out of his face. And I thought, oh boy, I bet this piece of art doesn't exist anywhere else.
Do you have a favorite episode?
Boy, that's a good question. This has been like the most fun episode.
Probably.
This one, learning that he got 1,000 listeners the last time he was here.
I mean, we'll just have to see what happens this time. I'll have to give a shout out at this time to Mary and Mouse Lovers, our admin. I hope she's listening.
Hey.
She's from what I gather, she's a regular listener now ever since we started sharing the link.
Ooh,
So
nice.
At least we have Mary.
Hi, Mary.
Write us an email, Mary, at
There's
MousePIRE.
something about her, right?
Yeah, I think there is something about her.
There's something about her.
I think there's something about Mary, Mary.
Well, this is Mary Holmstein, and Mary should write us an email at
MousePIRE@gmail.com.
There you go.
I just want to say I'm going to make this one really easy. My favorite episode is the one with Dylan because it was our very first guest, and there's just something about the accomplishment of a podcast of having your very first guest on because it was just somebody different. And to me, that was almost feeling like you made it as a podcast, that you finally had somebody as a guest
That wanted to come
that
on your
wanted to
thing.
come on the show, even though we had been kind of bugging him to come on the show. So I don't know, I mean, if he would have wanted to come on the show, but I mean, now it's almost like nothing to have a guest on the show, especially after, having Michael on so many times, because, Michael Bay basically became a regular guest, and then, of course, Dan, and now you, and then hopefully this becomes a regular thing for Fernando.
Hey, I got jumped in.
And I wasn't there, so he got to have my mic for a moment.
Well, Diggs have been bugged. We'd been talking for like over a year about coming on the podcast, and I kind of like swept it under the rug a bit because I had a lot going on, but then, boy, that Phantasmic situation really got me hyped up to want to call in or to call him and say, hey, I want to come on this week, and then we had such a blast. I had a good time, so I feel like I might as well just keep coming.
Yeah, so I don't even really remember what we talked about. I know we talked about food and Fat Time and stuff because he has his food Instagram, but I don't really remember what we talked about. I just the concept of having a guest, because I don't know what episode that was, but after so many episodes, the concept of having a guest on the show seemed pretty special to me.
Cool. All right. Well, thank you for your email, Fancy Nancy. We appreciate you listening, and we all know that you have listened to every episode, which includes Fernando here, Michael the Mail Guy here.
Yeah, I'm back for temporarily.
Me.
Ooh.
I was going to say I can't say that I've listened to every episode because I haven't been on every episode. There's one episode I wasn't on, and I didn't listen to that one, so I can't say I've listened to every episode.
Cool.
But I just want to say if there's anybody else out there who wants to claim to fame that you've listened to every episode, mousepire@gmail.com. Let us know. And let us know what your favorite episode is.
Cool.
But if you want a button, I think you have to commit to listening to every future episode too, right?
Well, yeah, obviously.
Every episode means every episode. So whatever's out there.
So like if Fernando wants a button, he's going to have to listen to this one when you get home and then commit to listen. And then if you don't, you get the revocation of the button.
I got Dig's cell phone number. I'll just bug him till he gets me one.
Nailed it.
Uh-oh.
At 7 in the morning.
Yeah, at 7 in the morning.
That's okay. It's my ringer's off.
Right before he goes to sleep.
I wouldn't mind that. I'm already up. Thank you, Nancy, for your email. Nice to hear from you again.
Yes.
Jake from State Farm. Commander Cody, thank you. Victoria, thank you. We saved your email for this episode since it was the 100th. So we thank you for that.
Now, Michael the Mail Guy's tip of the week.
Dirty, I'm not going to do an email, but you know what? We've had some great emails, and I'd like to say everybody, happy 100th. I appreciate all the support from myself and everybody actually pitching in on the emails. We had some great times and we had some bad times on emails, but you know what? I persist on keep on bringing the emails just for you guys to have some type of segment. Like I said, please go ahead and you show us some love. Any emails, like Tim said, is appreciate it. It really is, and we really need to hear from you guys. So, and hopefully, me and Diggs will go back and find our homework and let's find out some of those questions. But no more emails for me today because I am live and I'm here for the 100. So let's go on the tip of the week, and it is not no 5 summertime. So some people did like it. I'm gonna tell you. So Dave told me.
I didn't
so.
say I didn't like it. So.
I know, but nobody really got the concept. So, anyways, my tip of the week. Guess what? I'm coming back.
Whoa.
I am coming back, and guess what? 1 million SoCal annual pass holders will be back on the 20th. But of course, you're not going to see us until the 25th, not the 26th, but the 27th, as I will be returning. So if you guys have the good passes, you better get to the park. You better enjoy it. You better do what you can to embrace the less crowds because we are coming back. And that's all I can really say. The tip is to enjoy the park as quiet as it can. And enjoy the train lines, enjoy the Columbia lines, enjoy, of course, the canoe lines, because once we come back, we're going to overpower it. And I know you guys don't like us SoCals, but guess what? Without me being in the park, you wouldn't have no emails and tip of the weeks and all that. So at least appreciate that I'm here. And, of course, thank you to MousePIRE. Thank you to everybody for listening. I appreciate it on this 100th episode. And, of course, I will definitely try to be back as more as possible. But if not, then emails will be coming. So until then, this is Michael the Mail Guy, still here till the end.
Yeah.
Bye. Oh.
Later then. Bye. Taking my candy with me.
Womp womp.
All right, so if anybody has any emails, you have any questions, you have your own tips of the week, you have a tip of the month, or whatever, tip of the day.
If you just want to tell Tim to shut up, anything.
All you have to do is email us.
MousePIRE@gmail.com.
All right, so real quick, I want to give a big shout out to our new Patreon. We got a new Patreon this week.
Nice, on the 100.
Yes. And just to give you a hint of how much this person gave, it was the same thing that, or the same amount that Anthony got for his corn dog. So thank you very much, Nancy, Fancy Nancy, who donated to the podcast. We appreciate that. So thank you, Fancy Nancy. Appreciate that very, very much. We got a new Patreon. You guys could also help us out, donate to the podcast. All you have to do is go to patreon.com/MousePIRE. Give whatever you can give. Hey, like I said, Nancy just gave a corn dog amount for Anthony. So, hey, we appreciate anything we can get. It's awesome. It's cool.
Nice. Thank you.
Yeah, so visit patreon.com/MousePIRE. Help support the podcast.
I'll let somebody else have it so they can get a watermelon churro.
All right, don't forget to check out our YouTube channel. We do have our MousePIRE podcast up on YouTube. We started at we told you we're going to start at episode 90, but we actually started at episode 70. So, hey, 70 and up, you can hear. If there's any podcasts that are missing, that's because we got blocked for some copyright crap, and I'm not going to go back and edit it out just so you can hear it. So you can,
unless it's this episode, in which case he might upload the one without the Fernando song from the.
I don't know. We'll see, but yeah. So all episodes.
Really, we got blocked that quick for
3 of them
copyright stuff.
3 of them we did, and
that
it was
fast.
It was I believe Star Wars.
That definitely.
So anyway, you can now listen to all episodes from 70 up on YouTube. So go check that out. Visit youtube.com and search MousePIRE Podcast, or you can simply just head over to our Facebook page and get the link there. So yeah, check us out on YouTube.
I have a question. How long does it take, when you get the podcast up on normally, how long after is it up on YouTube? Is there days or hours?
It's going to be probably a day after from now on.
So if we release on Thursday, it's on YouTube on Friday.
Friday or Saturday.
Okay.
Depends on...
I was just wondering. I didn't know what your turnaround was.
It depends on Tim the Tech's work schedule. Because he does work,
Sounds like Anthony's complaining.
No, I'm not complaining. I was just wondering.
I'm just kidding.
The Rat Man strikes.
One last thing for me. I mentioned last week, Elizabeth and I have a group called Mouse Lovers 1313 on Facebook. We have about 5,000 members. We wanted to run a new members contest starting this Friday. We'll probably put it up around midnight Thursday or Friday morning. So everyone here that's listening to the podcast should try to join. If you send a request to join, I'll have our admins be on those so that you can get approved pretty quickly. Just find the thread or the post that says Mouse Lovers New Member Contest, and there'll be a good Disney Star Wars prize worth about $20. Anyway, join Mouse Lovers 1313 on Facebook and the group, not the community page. And look for the post with the Mouse Lovers new members contest. That'll be good for all new members that joined probably from the beginning of June or so, maybe beginning of May, and including everybody that joins this week. And there'll be a nice, cool prize worth about $20.
Yay!
I'm leaving that group now. Forget it.
Oh no!
And you can then sell it and use that $20 for parking in downtown Disney.
There you go. Using your brain.
Do you have a special occasion coming up? Looking to personalize your trip with a keepsake? Create customized buttons for birthdays, engagements, family vacations, even bridal parties, or just because. Check out buttonsbydiggs.com today. Buttons by Diggs, Buttons by Diggs. Remember, those are buttons, not pins.
All right, that's going to do it for 100th episode. Woo! Yeah. Unfortunately, Fernando Xavier Hubbard had to leave because his woman was saying, "Where the hell are you at?"
And Dan had the same problem.
Exactly. All right, so yes, 100th episode. Wow.
You're stuck with the Node Bedtime crew.
There you go. So yeah, 100th episode. We have come a long way. Pretty crazy that we're at 100, and 2 years of podcasting. It's a long time.
Too long.
Exactly.
Yeah, it just seems like, I don't know, just over 2 years ago that I said, hey, MousePIRE would be a good name for a podcast.
I think it was over 2 years ago.
Oh, that's right.
We've only just begun.
You know, I was asked today,
we don't want it to be taken off of YouTube.
What is a podcast?
And
why is it called a podcast? And after some research, I think it relates to the iPod, right?
Yes, it does.
Yes.
All right, so while we were talking earlier, we were talking about how we were on the train and why we got taken off the train, and of course we forgot to get back to that story. So real quick, we're going to talk about that. They told us that they were going to have us get off the train at Toontown, so we were only going to be able to go...
And they lied to us. They said that they were going to put the train to sleep.
Yes, they just lied straight to our faces.
Blatant liars.
That's pretty much the MO these days, though.
So basically, we got to Toontown, and they told everyone to get off the train. And of course, right when we're pulling into Toontown, we see John Lasseter there. And we're like, oh, this is why. So they took everyone off the train. John Lasseter and his crew got on the train. And then they loaded the guests who were at Toontown Station onto the train.
Dirty.
And they got to ride the train with John in the front car, not on the engine, but the front car, as he was talking to everyone on the train through the speakers.
Dirty.
Exactly. And I was like, dang.
And who were these people that were waiting in line? They just got lucky?
They just got lucky to be at the Toontown Station. Now, if anybody happened to see the day on the Friday, which was, I think, basically press day in the morning for the opening of the trains, there was a video put out by John Lasseter. He was dressed in an engineer's outfit, and then there was a bunch of other people with him that were also dressed in like engineers. I think they were all actual train engineers, right?
Probably.
That were with him. Well, he had changed into his traditional trademark Hawaiian shirt, and all of those people that were with him in that video were all the same people that were riding on the train with him that we saw get on with him. So it was like, oh, that's cool. But it would have been a lot cooler if we had gone and stay on the train. But, you know, I understand why they did it. They couldn't just say, okay, you people up here have to get off. Although they could have told those people to get off and move back like we discussed. But, you know, it was just they figured it was easier for them. But whatever, it's cool. We got to see him. It was right on.
It was dirty.
Yeah, I believe that's an official dirty award right there. I mean, come on now. No fast pass?
Nothing.
Dirty.
Well, especially considering
he had DAS.
You guys waited. You guys waited 30 or 40 minutes to get on the train, right?
Not really. We just walked right on.
Oh well.
Well, he waited, not counting how much you
I
had already waited.
Yes, that's
because we waited like 30 or 40 minutes, and that was on Tuesday, not on Friday.
Yeah, like I said, I was up there waiting, and they said they broke down, and then after the band played, and blah 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 blah. So yeah, that's what happened. That's why we were kicked off the train because of John Lasseter and his crew. And
so you guys weren't like getting jiggy with it.
No. All right, so I want to remind everyone, make sure you get your Mickey's Halloween party tickets now. We already have one date sold out, which is Friday the 13th of October.
There's a second day sold out as well.
It's not really that shocking. I mean, usually I think they sell out quick. I think they're actually selling out less quicker than they usually do because of
the
how
price
high
is
the prices
higher.
are.
People
gone.
are waiting to go, oh, do I really want to go or not? Do I need to go again?
I heard a lot of people are like, you know what? I can't pay that extra money, and I'm just shocked, to be honest, that the cheapest days are not sold out yet.
All right, so the second date sold out is October 6th.
I was close.
Another Friday. So, yeah, hurry up and get your tickets now. Don't lag it, like Michael says. And don't be those people complaining in every group that you didn't get a ticket because you were stupid and didn't get it as soon as you could. So get your tickets now. Like I said, October 6th and October 13th are sold out already. So get your tickets now. All right, if you guys are interested in that Main Street Electrical Parade blackout ticket.
Or Michael returning after his long hiatus.
The ticket is $79, and you will have access to both parks, and you'll be able to see the parade before it leaves. So
But you won't be able to get to see Michael because he's not going to be there until when, Michael?
I believe it's Sunday, August 27th, the
Well,
busiest day
There you
of
go.
August.
There you go.
So yeah, you can get your ticket, go to the ticket booth, or call. I gave you the number earlier. I don't remember the number because I don't care. I don't need a ticket. I have a pass. So
The number was 714-781-PASS.
okay, there you go. Buy your tickets now and check out the Main Street Electrical Parade. Don't forget the pass holder offerings for all the desserts over there at Jolly Holiday and over at the Market House. So 2 for 1, but get there quick because all that stuff is going quickly. So yeah, check that stuff out if you guys are interested in that. Other than that, we don't know when we'll be in the parks again. And yeah, that's about it. I don't know.
So if you guys want to see what's going on, as usual, go check out our social medias. We are MousePIRE on Facebook, at MousePIRE on Instagram, and the Twitters. I teased it last week's episode, but it got cut out. I have changed my Twitter account to at Dubax for Life. That is Dubax, FOR Life. So that is me now. So make sure you guys, if you guys are a little lost on who's, just look at the picture and the name.
Hey,
It's
Anthony,
not that hard.
What's a Dubax?
You don't know a Dubax?
The green lizards from Star Wars.
Oh.
For life.
For life.
So yes, I am at Dubax for Life. No more underscores. No more all that crap. So just Dubax for Life.
He doesn't know what's going on either. Help us
No,
out
I
here.
know. If you want to find me, catch me on Instagram, Michael DIZZNEY. And of course, don't forget August the 27th, the busiest Sunday of August, and of course the same early morning as Choco Walk. You can find me at Disneyland. It's a big family entertainment as I got 2 unofficial events, so it's the time to finally get going and visit me, and hopefully MousePIRE will hopefully be in the parks.
Of course, you can find me on Instagram, and I still have an underscore. So here it is, shadow_vamp. Until I change it, that's what you get. Oh yeah, look at my picture. Thanks.
All right, you can follow me on Instagram, one of those grams. Ooh, graham crackers sound good right now. But you can follow me at Baloo1313. Also follow Buttons by Diggs on Instagram. There you will see when your order is going out. Don't forget to check out our Patreon page and be a new Patreon just like Fancy Nancy. Go to patreon.com/MousePIRE. There you can donate and help support the podcast. Also, don't forget to visit our YouTube channel. And like I said, we now have our episodes up there starting at episode 70 and up. So there you can also catch, that's another way of catching our podcast. And check out our videos there. Don't forget to subscribe.
Yes, please.
Exactly.
You can find me on Facebook at TimFresh-1.
Oh.
And our group, again, Mouse Lovers 1313. If you join and take part in our new members contest this week, we got a cool prize. Probably one of the bigger prizes we've had in a while. But we do contests all the time, thanks to the lovely Elizabeth that also hosted us tonight with the goodies and snacks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I'll give a shout out also to Elizabeth's personal shopping service because she's hosted everybody tonight and got us such yummy goodies. If you collect anything from the parks and you're not local enough to pick it up yourself, look her up. It's Disneyland Personal Shopping by the Mouse Lovers.
Yes, it's worth it.
She pick up popcorn buckets. We also get a lot of items from Tokyo, pins and exclusive stuff and things from D23 and Just check out the page and see if you like anything, and if not, and you're looking for something in particular, send a message.
Be sure to check out on our Instagram page to see pictures of these lovely snacks. So yeah, head over there and check it out now because they will be up.
Until next time, remember, it's all downhill from here, especially if your shirts are not tucked in. So for Marty, June, Hank Hill, and Tim's Cats, I'm Anthony.
I'm Tim.
I'm Michael the Mail Guy.
I'm Shadow.
I'm Diggs.
Bye.
This podcast is intended for entertainment and informational purposes only. Audio, sound bites, and other clips are property of their copyright holders. All original stuff is ours and property of MousePIRE.com.
Fuck. Now you're going to have to cut it out.
Until next time, remember, it's all down here from here.
Fired.
It's all downhill from here, especially if your pants are not tucked in. Wait, that's not right.
Wait, you guys had pants this time? Oh, no.
I like choo-choo.
That dude scratched my nuts.